It's Tuesday and we're live.
Yes, we are.
And there we go. We got Nicole with her wrench.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. What are you doing?
Now it works.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what happened to YouTube last week.
It was last week. It was just a mess in the friggin' matrix.
Yes, it was.
It was a mess in the matrix.
It was.
Screwed everything up.
It did.
It's your fault.
It is not my fault. I do
too.
not run YouTube.
It's your fault.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man.
No.
Yeah. You know why it's your fault?
Why?
Because my aunt Marine said it was your fault. Always Kim's fault.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know.
I do. Oh, I do. Okay.
Okay, what?
All right.
So, real quick, let's go ahead and hey, welcome to the show. Hope everybody had a great week since our last live show. I'm just gonna throw it up there. You know, I was like, what the heck? Also, if you notice, pinned to the top is actually this week's the link to the Spotify for Lisa Marie's album, Storm of Grace, which we're gonna talk about today.
We are.
And real quick, hey, Yabaldo.
Hello.
Nicole.
Hello.
And yep, that's it.
Oh,
look, Kenny's here. Hey, Kenny.
And Hannah's here too.
Who?
Hannah.
Who's Hannah?
Really?
I don't know a Hannah.
Yes, you do.
Try to remember. Do I know a Hannah?
Yes, you better know her.
Nope, don't know her.
You're mean.
I'm her father. I can be mean.
I know.
Yes, I do know Hannah. Where is she? Right there.
Yes.
Hannah Banana.
Yes.
Hannah Banana. Oh, my dad. We called her. Don't ask me where this came from, but he called her Hannah Banana Oil. We have no friggin' clue.
Gotcha.
None of us know where that came from.
Gotcha.
Like what?
Gotcha.
I think you've been in the mines too long, son. But yeah. Anyways. How was your... Oh, wait. We don't do weeks until we go on the other side, don't we?
That's right.
Oh yeah. See?
See?
She thinks I'm being rude. She's a kid.
You're being mean.
She's an adult child now.
Hey, she may be an adult, but you don't need to be mean
Speaking
to
of which
her.
means if Hannah's watching, that means also more likely, hi, Case.
Yes, hi, Case.
I think, well, just in case. Hey, Brinley.
Yes.
Just in case she's there. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think she's at her dad's today.
Yes. Hi.
I think she's away. Away.
Hi. Yes. Hi,
Far and away. No, I'm just joking.
If you're there, Brinley, hi.
Don't listen to her, Brinley.
Excuse me. You be
Would you fart?
nice.
Did you fart?
No.
God, I hope not. Before we get on the other side of this, let's talk about that. Shall we?
No, let's not.
Oh, we shall. Because I'll tell you one thing. You know, there's a thing when guys do it, you know, we do it to do it, you know. But, you know, when you girls do it, it's kind of like, oh, man, you know, it's no big deal. But, oh, my gosh. I had to run out of our bedroom.
I know. I'm sorry, but...
Man. Holy moly. Don't tell boss I'm on the chat. Right on. Heck yeah, there we go. That's how we work nowadays. We just jump in chats and call it good.
Exactly.
All right, should we get on the other side of this?
Yes, let's.
All right.
Can't
remember what? Can't believe what? What can't you believe?
I forgot my watch out in the kitchen.
Well, you got as long as this intro plays. Are you ready? She's moving everything. So when I say go, she's gonna go. Here, hand me your cans. Just hand them to me. I'll hold them. All right. On your marks. Get set. Psych. Go. I swear I'm gonna make the new intro really short,
Why?
just so you got less time to go get things done.
Well, I got back before the intro was complete.
You did, Kim. And what episode number are we on?
We are on episode 186.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Lisa Marie's last album, 2012, Storm and Grace.
Yes.
And of course, we're gonna have Nicole on from Rogue One Radio.
Yep.
But the reason why I just chuckled at episode number 186 or 186.
That was our Burlington store number.
It was in
Orem.
Burlington, right? In Orem,
Yep.
Utah, when we both worked at Burlington Coat Factory, back when it was called Burlington Coat Factory.
Yep.
Our store number was 186.
Yep.
So anytime you did anything like on a register, it came up with your store number, like, you know, they give that change 186 or $1.86, or even if it was like 21.86, we were always telling somebody.
Yeah, we were.
Anyways, Rolando, how's it going, bud?
Spit it out.
I'm about to spit on you. That would have been funnier than hell, especially if we got a real one out.
Yeah, I know.
Fly on my, that would be funnier than hell. I would love that.
I know.
Would you?
No.
All right. You know how much of this we're actually gonna do? We're gonna thank our Patreons.
Sounds good.
And that's possible where we're gonna go.
That's fine. I think
for tonight, because one, oh, by the way, real quick. So usedandabused.com is dead.
Yes.
I killed it.
Yeah, so we no longer have a website.
Right. Well, we do have web address.
Yeah, we have a web address, but not the website.
It's still there. The website's somewhat still there.
Yeah.
But it's very basic. It's not the paid version because I'm looking into different options now.
Yes.
Anyways, patrons.
Thank you to our Patreons, Luna Girl, Dragon Buddy, Don Delasnooch Solsky, Nicholas Schaefer, Steve Long, Hannah, Mikey, Brinley, and Case.
You want to join our Patreon, go to patreon.com/usedabusedpod. Real quick. The only other thing I want to bring up is tonight after us. So there we go. Red 5 happenings.
Yes.
Tonight after us, roughly 9:35-ish to 10-ish. Supposed to be having a gaming sesh, extra techie. I think it's under extra gaming.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Hopefully somebody can look it up and put the link in the chat. But later on tonight after us, it'll be a gaming sesh.
Okay.
And then tomorrow night, back after a little 2-week break, because they're going to go every other week right now. I don't know how long that's going to last. But the Escape Pod comes back tomorrow night, 7:05 Eastern, over on their YouTube channel, and they're going to be talking Borat.
Yep.
So again, we want to just plug that real quick. As far as everyone else, you can either go to bio.link/red5.
Yes.
And also, and also make sure you follow another at your Red 5 Network. I think it is on YouTube.
Yes.
And on YouTube, oh my gosh, on Twitter and whatnot. And of course, you follow any one of us in the Red 5. We're always replugging.
Yeah, we are.
The promos that Lunar Girl does really every week.
Yeah, and then just don't forget to smash the like button if you are new to the channel.
Right.
Click the bell to be notified of
is not part of the Red 5 Network, but Orange and Fett Show.
Yes.
Are going to be back this weekend, Friday, I think.
I think so.
So Orange and Fett Show, they're on Spotify, and I think they also have that a live show now they're doing on Fridays, I think, is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think it's Friday.
I believe it is.
And then I know the Red 5 Tavern's back this week.
Yes.
They were back last week. They're back again. They're back with another episode this week with a new player.
Oh, okay.
A Birdman.
Okay.
It is what it is, a Birdman.
Oh, okay.
Can be played by Steve Long of Rogue One Radio.
Nice.
So it'll be cool. And then one other thing I want to pop out there, a plug, is February 7th.
Yes.
Star Wars Podcast Day.
Yes.
We are going to finally be a part of it.
Yes, we are.
And literally what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about the dark times. Now, when I say the dark times, a lot of people think we're talking about the actual series called the Dark Times. No, I'm talking about the dark times of, now this is how my dark times works in a way, but the real dark times is from 84 to 91.
Yes.
However, because I wasn't, like, for me, where I lived, I'm just going to give this a little bit and then it'll be more on it right when we do it. But on February, yeah, 2 weeks from tonight.
Yep.
But for me, I didn't, like, the first book I finally saw was like in 92, 93.
Yes.
So, and I wasn't seeing all this extra stuff. So for me, the way the dark times work is from movies.
Yeah.
I don't consider books and stuff being an end to that, in my opinion.
Yes, exactly.
That's just my opinion. But anyways, we'll talk about that more
in 2
weeks on Star Wars Podcast Day, February 7th. Now, just so everybody knows, there's going to be a lot of the Red 5 Network going on that day.
There is.
Going live. So we do understand, we're going to go live at our normal time at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Eastern, that is.
Yeah.
And we understand people will be on at our shows or even a part of our shows. Just remember, we can watch each other all in the replays.
Yes, we can.
Which we're going to have to do, which is going to suck because there's a lot of shows where it's fun to be.
I know, in the chat.
Yeah. Live in the chat. But anyways. Yep. I think that's the last thing I was going to plug. What?
Okay. Yeah.
What?
No.
And then real quick, as a reminder, all links are in the show notes and pinned to the top of our Twitter page.
Yeah.
With our bio link.
Yep.
bio.link/useabusepod.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. The dark times.
Yes.
Oh, whoops, I forgot to kill that. And then Nicole. Yes, she's on it.
Yes, she is.
All right, real quick. I forgot to kill that one. All righty. Kim. I don't know if anybody else heard that, but your high pitch, those headphones suck. And it's squealing.
Sorry.
Wonder why.
That's the first time it's done.
No, it's did it before, but it did when we weren't live.
Oh, sorry. I had my hair wrapped around him and was pulling.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get a little bit into a little bit of fun stuff over there.
Okay.
So this weekend, I went on a little shopping spree.
Yes, you did.
And I got you, 3 things?
Yes.
I picked me up a few things.
Yes.
Well, technically, it's all ours, no matter what.
Yeah.
So let's show off what you got.
Okay.
What did I get pick up for you? Let you talk about them. Because that's what it's about. You, Kimberly.
Yeah. Well. Okay. All right. So.
There.
Oh, extra. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the chat. So.
Anyway, so I'm into murder mystery books.
No, you don't. Wait a minute. What?
It's murder mystery, technically.
Huh.
And other
books. That
books.
just made me rethink of everything.
Why?
Do I really want you reading these type of books? If I go up missing and all of a sudden you notice I'm no longer on the show and she's got no excuse and I'm not popping up in the chat. Tell the cops it's because of this shit.
Anyway, so I came across an author a while back, and he has actually it was a game. It was originally a game at how I came across this author, and he's got different books from this particular series of books, and it's called by James Patterson, and it's called The Women's Murder Club. And he actually found the 10th book for me. So, yeah. So it's the 10th book of The Women's Murder Club by James Patterson.
Right. So you mentioned these a while ago. I mean, gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, not on the show. I
No.
know you ever mentioned, but you mentioned these to me. I want to say what 2019? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I just plop her right on in?
Yeah. Why? Go for it.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Here comes Nicole. Say hi to Nicole, everybody. Hi, Nicole. Oh,
Hello.
yeah. I have that.
Look what I got.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, one of 3 things I got this week. Look at that.
Yeah.
How gorgeous is this cover?
Awesome. We have that one.
Donna Summer. She's gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
I remember that. I think I've actually seen it. I think you've shown this one before, but then I'm just going to skip right on in. This tells you how wide of a genre I listen to, because I also have some Grand Ole
Nice.
Opry, but I love the fact I found this. Also, I know Christmas is done, people, but you know.
Hold that up. Keep that bass, Kim. Keep that bass. Let me switch this around. Kim got just a little excited there.
That's because that's one I grew up on. Yep.
We need to move to Chicago or the Chicago area.
You wouldn't like the snow.
I don't. I have no problem with snow. It's just the cold.
There we go.
Yes.
Look at that. Look how beautiful this cover is.
That is awesome. Somebody took care of that one.
Yeah, they did.
I'm yeah. I got 3 all in one day. I loved it.
Nice.
I loved it. And hello to chat. And hello, everybody.
How we doing?
We're doing great. I mean, I'll add this back in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that just takes your women's murder club stuff. Throw it out the door.
But like I said, Mom, that was one artist Mom was into, so we got to grow up on John Denver and the Muppets.
Yes, yes. Well, I can remember watching the movie as a kid, you know. So
yeah, I owned, I think it was the Great Muppet Caper on cassette.
Nice.
I had the soundtrack of one. I don't have it anymore, but that's because I think it got used up.
Yeah.
Used and abused.
Exactly. With like a lot of stuff, especially in my younger years and teenage years. I mean, my cassette tape of Beverly Hills Cop, you cannot even read it.
No, you can't. I can attest to that.
At least the only part you can still read is what side. So at least I know what side I'm putting in.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so Kim, man, those were awesome.
Back to Kim.
Those
are sorry.
Awesome. No,
I was holding it when he brought me on, and I was just like, well, I'll just go ahead and continue to show my show and tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
No, that's what's cool. I mean, that's the one thing that is that we're gonna talk about some things here in a little bit, but that is one thing that's gonna really be good coming forth with the show later into the year. Wow, Kim.
Sorry.
I'm gonna actually bring on where we show off a few more items, but then I guess I can also just talk about it right now. But most of it's going to be saved for Patreon videos.
Yes.
So
love it.
Anyways, Kim, what you got? What else you got?
Yeah,
what else
Kim,
I get you? What else I get you?
Yes.
What else I get you? Goodwill.
Yes. In time here.
In time. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So
let her set it up.
So
here we go.
I do love to color.
You're still live, just so you know, Nicole.
And he actually found me Doctor Who coloring book. So now I can color with Doctor Who.
Nice.
Love it.
Did you quit hitting the microphone?
I'm sorry. I'm glad he found those because I love Doctor Who.
All right. So Scott was over at Goodwill. First thing first, like I was talking about, hand me the records. Hand me one. hand me the one first. The one I got at Goodwill.
One.
Okay. So this is the one I got at Goodwill. Should I really show it?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. Yes. Yes.
Wait, who is that? I can't.
Olivia.
Oh, that's nice.
It's her 1977 album.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Shut down
before she got physical.
Yes.
Yeah, before she got physical. Exactly. And I went walking, and then of course I found the books and the book and the coloring books, and then I got over in the toys. Nope, wrong one. I want the one bird. I want the one yellow. Yeah, that's the one I want. Because I'm looking through the well, over here on top of all the kids' clothing racks, they have all these stuffed animals and games, like board games and stuff. And I'm looking through, like looking at board games, and also I see this thing sitting sideways on it, like this. You'll hear me solo this again. So it's sitting like this, and I'm like, this is Star Wars. What is it? So when I pulled it out.
No.
I'm like, okay, it's mine.
Is it Solo? The trooper from Solo?
I think so. I didn't really do any look. It just says Imperial Patrol Trooper, but I'm assuming since it does have Kira and Han on the side of it.
That was my clue.
Yeah, I mean, I figured this was from Solo, but yeah, and then I started digging through the rest, or started looking over in the toys where they put stuff in bags and hang them like dolls, and they call them dolls, and I found this one.
Nice, Jen.
See, you're better than I am. I'm looking at it first going, oh, look, it's raining. And it dawned on me. Duh, no, it's not. And then I found this one.
Cassian.
Yep, Cassian Andor.
And
his old.
Hey, you got to learn how to keep down below the screen.
Well, I don't know if you want Vader down below with her. Just saying.
That's true.
Scott, you asked for it all by yourself, man.
But I mean, Kate, only thing they're all missing, like they're not the one in the box, but the other ones are all missing the guns, and obviously Vader's missing the lightsaber part of it. But yeah, I figured out most all these are from Rogue One.
Probably.
Whoops. So I just
hello. It's all good.
I'll figure out how to do this stuff yet. But then I went into a record store.
Yes.
Here in Yuma.
Yes.
And you want to hand me the stack?
Sure.
Hey, Kristen. Kristen's here.
Oh, hi, Kristen.
Record store?
Yeah. And they carry.
You had some fun.
They do carry a lot of. The only new ones they carry is record store day stuff, which they just started doing, but they carry a lot of used. And it was kind of cool when I walked in because I've been there once before last year. And when I walked in and I was looking through, he come out and he goes, "Hey, used and abused." Because when I was there last time, I was talking about the podcast, and so yeah. So I'm gonna show off 3. Obviously, not the first 3 I found, but kind of goes with today, right, Kim?
Yes, it does.
All right, we're gonna see how well these show up because they are in the plastic bag. So here we go.
Nicole might be dying on the other side. Would you like my address, Scott? Just teasing. Just teasing. No, those are wonderful. I'm very excited for you guys. That is wonderful to add to the collection.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, the rest of them I'm going to show off on a. So I don't. Kim, you move just a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's not shown because your chair's in the way. Anyway, so I got a ring light. I found a ring light with a stand to hold the phone for $20 on Amazon, and I ordered it. I'm like, well, if I'm going to get a little serious into doing some TikToks, because there's those TikToks where it's like, oh, I know this song, or don't, do you know this song? Do you know that song? You hold your fingers up. I'm like, well, I want to do these.
But how many of this? But we know most songs already.
I know, right? Exactly.
It's like what's coming out tomorrow. That is what we don't know, or what's come out in the last year. It's a hit and a miss.
Right, right. But I mean, it's fun to see people. Now there was one where it's funny. She's got all these records behind her, and every single song that was playing was on these records she had, and she's holding her fingers up the whole time. And I'm like, okay, she's doing this as a joke. There's no way she doesn't realize all these songs were on these records. There's no way she doesn't know. And
Yeah.
of course, I got reading the comments. People are like, some people are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't know any of these," and the albums are right behind you. And then she's like, "It was a joke."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, there's other ones where the songs will play and they'll literally pull down their fingers that they know.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to do those. So, anyways, but I'm also gonna use the ring light for making the videos for Patreon.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be a little bit more fun. However, the next coolest thing I want to point out, I want to show everybody is bring down low. How low can you go? Good girl.
Hello, can you go?
And so when I'm at the record store and looking, obviously this record store has not only vinyl albums, not only 45s, but they have cassettes, CDs, VHS, DVDs, old video. I mean, we're talking NES, Super NES, N64. I've seen in their PlayStation 2, 3, 4, Xbox, original 360, and as far as all the and some books,
wow.
artist books.
Oh.
Well, they also have areas where I'm looking around and I'm looking at the top going, oh, look at these box sets up here. And then I look and went, excuse me, that's old and interesting. And I sure in heck remember buying those CDs this way.
Yes.
So I pull it down. And when I'm talking to him, I'm like, well, how much for this? He's like, well, I haven't marked you out. How about $10? Well, that's what the price tag was originally from the store it came from. It was like $9.99. I'm like, okay, cool. Ended up picking up Nazareth, Hair of the Dog album.
Okay.
But in the old long box. The old CD long box from the 80s.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in still great condition.
Yeah. It's not been opened. Still sealed.
Okay. So it's in fantastic condition. Right. Got it.
and the cool thing is, one, I love that album, mainly the song. Actually, there's a lot of songs. I like most of the songs on there, and I've never actually owned that album. Of course, nowadays it's a little bit different because, you can go to Spotify or you can go on Apple Music or even Amazon Music and just listen to the album without even having to pay for them now because, it's all streaming. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, a long box. And he actually told me he just sold one he told me he sold one on eBay a couple, like 2 or 3 weeks before that, of 9 Inch Nails.
Cool.
He had the Hurt EP. And so when I finally found him on there, I went and searched to see how much the person paid for it. About fainted. The person that bought it on eBay in the long box paid $83. I'm like, I'm not even that crazy.
I'm glad I'm not alone in the Elvis album thing other than you guys, because Uvaldo says he's got some shelf space too.
One of these days I'm gonna have to pull out like the stack
I know
records.
Yeah, because
just
you're gonna be like, how far can we get Nicole's jaw to drop?
Oh, well, do that. I mean, honestly, I'll get you back over there real quick and grab another thing. Because one thing we did over this weekend was we dug through, found a bunch of our old magazines.
Yes.
Found both of my 2 Elvis magazines, get us ready for when we do the Elvis episode in March. And then upon finding those, we also found my Force Awakens book.
Yes.
My episode 1 book.
Yes.
And these are magazine books.
Uh-huh.
The 20th anniversary on Star Wars.
Yes.
Which got Darth Vader on the front. I should have had them ready to bring them over.
Well, yeah.
But we'll show them off that day. And then a bunch of my Starlog magazines I bought, and different Star Wars magazines I bought during the time of the special editions.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna be prepared. Gonna be prepared. Be prepared.
I think we all were thinking about it. You said it, and I'm like, I could hear Scar. I could hear it. I'm going, let's go, exactly. Lion King.
Well, it's like a lot of things. You say something, and all of a sudden something just, music wise will pop in my head.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it could be Kim just saying a word or a couple words that I know is part of a lyric, and also I'm right into that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, but we're gonna like mosey into all of it. So yeah. So if you guys want to know what the rest of the records are, well, once I get it done, it's gonna be put on our Patreon.
Yes.
And how we thought about, and this is at the beginning of the Patreon. I mean, it's been months ago, or years, year, 2 years.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
My
Anyways,
file cabinet's
the-
overflowing in
The
dusty right
way
now.
we always talked about doing like bonus episodes just for the Patreons was like 1 to 2 years later. Then we would finally release it on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, by then it's old and now it could finally come out.
Yeah. Or
You know,
yeah.
or just keep it on it forever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That will be too deep.
spit it out, Kim. Don't spit on me.
To be determined when that comes out
Got
for
it.
the rest of them. Call.
So today, folks, ladies and gentlemen, like we talked about, we're going to talk about Lisa Marie
Mhm.
Presley. We're going to talk about her 2012 album, Storm and Grace, which was
Mhm.
released in, I think, what was it? 11 song. Yeah, 11 song standard edition.
And then 17 song deluxe edition.
I thought it was 15.
I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
Anyway.
May 15th, 2012.
Yeah.
I came
crazy.
prepared per
Good.
usual.
Right on. See, that's why we love having Nicole on, because she's always prepared.
Yes, exactly.
But before we get to there, over this last weekend, Sunday
Yes.
was the memorial for Lisa
Yeah.
Marie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was hoping it would be on. I was sitting on Graceland's YouTube channel waiting for it, and they never propped it up. I'm like, really? So I ended up having to search for a couple. Searched one, it kept buffering. I'm like, oh, forget this. I got to find another one. When it's not buffering, I found another one that was buffering, and ended up watching the service. And wow,
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, holy
I
cow.
I was working, so I ended up
Right.
having to rewatch it later. But it looks like several news places were there, covering her memorial, and yes, I agree. I was wowed. There were things that I did not know about or expect, and I think we got a really good insight on to Lisa Marie in a couple new ways, like new
Right.
perspectives, and yeah,
Exactly.
wow.
Now, of course, they had the Blackwood Quartet there.
That was
Mhm.
interesting, though.
That the one gospel group. I mean, gosh, okay. But out of that, I'm not going to include them because otherwise I will choose a gospel group anytime over any artist because they're just powerful way
Well,
they sing.
And I think with the gospel group, though, I think it goes back even further into her roots because that was something for both her and her dad. Like for
Right.
her and
Yes.
Elvis, gospel was really big for him. And then it was passed down, to her, just like you pass
Right.
it down through generations. So I think that's what changes it. I think that, the perspective versus Alanis Morissette or Axl Rose. And you're
Right.
like, okay, you know what I mean? But it makes sense for her.
Yeah. Right.
But Elvis
So-
didn't know who Alanis Morissette was. Priscilla does, but not him. But
Right.
the gospel group, absolutely, hands down.
Right. And also the Blackwood Quartet because they
Oh,
actually,
that was the one towards the end? He was telling the story about his was it his dad or he was there, right?
yeah, he went with his father right around when
Right.
Lisa Marie was a young girl.
Little. Mhm.
And but then he told the story. I believe it was his grandfather was in the Blackwood Quartet first.
Yep.
He sung at Gladys's
Funeral.
Yeah.
funeral. His dad sung at
Yes.
Elvis's funeral, and now here he was.
Yeah.
As
Wow.
he said, the circle completing the circle,
Completely.
being at Lisa Marie.
That next to Priscilla and then Riley's husband speaking, I think that was probably the moment where I was just like, okay, not gonna cry. She doesn't want that. No tears,
Right.
Because that was the moment. I was like,
The one that got me, the one that got my emotions really started was Jerry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, Jerry Schilling too. Yes.
I mean, he had great stories. I love his stories. I loved the stuff he talked about, but they're right there at the end, talking about them, being at Graceland for the 88th birthday of Elvis and then going to the Golden Globes. And then, yeah, I was like, whoa, dude.
And then sharing her nickname. He called her Memphis. Again, something I did not know. And I was just like, whoa, I think the one that came out of the most out of left field, but I did not know until like literally doing research, was Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. I was like, wait, what? Like, I was just like, where did this come from? And now it makes sense, especially with this album, because Lisa was living there at the time and was making the album. So that makes sense. And it does. And now I'm like, in hindsight, it's like, okay, this does make sense. They both understand paparazzi. They both understand all these pressures they go through with having a microscope onto their lives by, everybody.
Right.
So I think they probably understood each other. And you knew that it must have meant something when she called her sissy, because I was just like, what? Like, again, for me, the first time, like when I first saw it, I actually saw it originally in parts because I was just like, oh, look at that interview. I'll watch it. By the time I watched it beginning to end, I was like, okay, I've already seen everything, but now I'm seeing it. And then it made sense. Okay, this makes sense. Because again, new perspectives. So
now, as far as the you mentioned Alanis Morissette and Axl Rose, plus also Billy Corgan was there.
Yeah.
They all performed beautiful songs. And what I was going to come out and say is, for me, this is me. I mean, I love Axl. He's older. He's done a lot of things to his voice and stuff over the years from the way he sings, but like for me, the real powerful singer of those three was Alanis on that stage.
Yes.
On that. Yes. I mean, just like, wow.
She's kind of remained a powerhouse. And I'm like, Alanis, come back to us.
Yeah, right. And I did read where Axl has actually come out and stated that he was there because that was the one she wanted, or Lisa Marie wanted that song to be played, November Rain, to be played at her funeral.
Oh, wow. It's crazy that she had that much stuff planned.
Right.
Like, my brain goes, what?
Right. Yeah. I know. I mean, yeah, it's amazing to be able to have that. I mean, especially at her age, at 54. I mean, who knows when she had that all planned up.
I wouldn't be surprised if she planned it earlier than that.
Well,
like when she was in her younger years.
Right, because like Nicole brought up Riley's, her husband got up on there and gave us Riley's words, because I mean, I don't blame Riley for not getting up there. I mean, Priscilla did as best she could. She even had a moment.
Right. Well, Priscilla actually read her granddaughter, so that meant one of Lisa Marie's twins.
Right.
She had read, and so that means we didn't really get Priscilla. We only got Priscilla speaking on behalf. Understandable. Maybe that's just what she needed, though, to get through, because she was just like, if I do it, I'm gonna break,
Right.
So
right. And I'm assuming that's also why, Riley had her husband go up there and read hers. And yes, I mean, just listening to, the way Riley was describing her and stuff, like, whoa.
Well, but the surprise, you want to talk about the surprise moment? You and I was like, wait, did you notice that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it, but I'm like, what?
What?
I did not know that Riley had a daughter. But
so that brought me. Yep. Sorry.
And I didn't save it, but I noticed on TMZ that they had a picture of Riley and the baby coming off of the plane from Graceland, or coming back from Memphis, and wow, it was like, and I guess that's the first time that Riley is actually allowed the baby to be photographed.
Right. So and how private. They really did keep that on such a down low. I didn't know that Lisa Marie was a grandma.
No.
I was like, wait, I did. Yeah. I remember texting you going, huh? Did you catch this? I remember even thinking in that moment, is she pregnant, or does she already give birth? And then the TMZ pictures what made me go, oh.
Right.
okay.
Right.
And then, of course, I had a lot of questions then, but then I was just like, it doesn't matter. She's gone. There's
Yeah.
just let it be. So,
Yeah. But I mean, overall, it was. I mean, Kim hasn't watched the full thing yet.
No, I've watched bits and pieces of it, but
see,
yes.
that's what I did. I did bits and pieces until I finally watched it beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so that she'll have her chance to watch it beginning and end. I mean, make sure again. And for those of you who haven't watched it, you want to watch it, just search it on YouTube. It's probably about an hour and 19 minutes. And I don't care how manly you think you are or whatnot, you better have the tissues ready.
Yeah, you better. Even the little bit I saw, you better have those tissues ready.
Because I mean, it affected me.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. But yeah, so that's why it's not reason why it was a great idea that Nicole came up with.
Yeah.
Because I mean, literally at the end of the year last year, we threw it out there that, anytime, Nicole wanted to come on for the whole month, we'd be more than happy to have her on while Rogue One Radio was taking a hiatus, taking a break.
Yeah.
And, but.
Oh, I was just, and I mean, this is just my own personal take from the little bits and pieces that I got to see of this memorial service. But you take a look at Elvis's personality. He was loving, accepting of everyone, no matter the color, no matter the religion, nothing. Lisa Marie was the same way. She was loving. She accepted everybody for who they are. She did not care. And I thought, how cool is that she got her dad's love and caring for humanity from him. And it was touched on just a little bit from the bits and pieces of the memorial. I thought that was just amazing.
Well, I think she actually got that from both her parents.
Yeah, I don't know much about Priscilla, but I do know.
Right.
Like I said, I know more about Elvis than I do Priscilla.
Well, right. I mean, we all know more about Elvis.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's still stuff that even some of us are still learning even about Elvis, even though, his life has been out there.
Yeah.
And it's been broadcasted and whatnot. And but there's still a lot of things that you're still learning.
Yeah, but I just thought that was just, I think that was just a very, very good understanding of the life she actually led. Because she didn't care who you were or what color you were.
Oh.
She was your friend, like her dad was.
The one thing I loved about what I should say, I recently learned, and I mean recently within the last 2 weeks, with everything gone on with Lisa Marie, I didn't realize she had released albums.
I didn't either.
That was shock to me when they started talking about her albums. I mean, excuse me. So I'm searching them up on iTunes, going, okay, let me check some of these out, and all of a sudden, realizing, oh wow, not only did she write her own stuff, but she also did covers.
I know. I can't wait for us to dig deep into this because I'm with you on this. And even the additional stuff we're going to add in tonight, that I was just like, we should talk about this too. I just couldn't believe it. And all this stemmed from the fact that we all love Elvis. Yeah. And then it's just like, and we love the movie, and now we're going to go to his music, and then we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden everything happens with Lisa Marie, and we're like, hold up. And then we go, wait, hold up. There's music? Like, wait a minute. We are on this. And then we just want to share the love of it. And then, of course, for me, my research was, oh my gosh, like just listening to one song made me go, what you guys think about this one? And it kind of reminded me also of your guys' original roots, because you guys used to do that, beginning to end album. And I thought, well, we may not do it identical because we're going to do our own spin on it, but it would still honor your guys' roots as well. So.
Right. And that's the one thing, I mean, like I said, I mean, and those, I mean, everybody can double check this with it later. You go back, watch the overview, because I literally said it in the overview when I first started this podcast. I was going to touch when we were doing albums. It wasn't going to be just the hits. It was going to be every song off the album, all the stuff that people consider filler. Because for me, I love listening to a full length album because I like to take a journey with the artist.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh,
And that's the one thing I do love
yes.
about listening to a full length album. That's where I think today's generation, they got, and where they got to iTunes, your Spotify's, where you can just stream songs.
Yeah.
You don't need, you got artists right now talking about, well, we're just going to record one song. We're not going to make a full length album. We've literally gone back into a way, you think about it, back to the 50s.
Yeah, when they would only
because that's what they would do.
Yeah.
Even Elvis's first record, when it comes down to his first album, was just a mash of all the songs he already recorded.
Yes.
They weren't, wasn't like, oh, here's a brand new album. No, he recorded a bunch of songs. They brought them on 45s and as singles, and they mashed them all together because Sam Phillips was like, oh, hey, I think I can make money off a full length album with this guy.
Yep, exactly.
But real quick before we do, I know we kind of last week, so obviously, and I'm just going to kind of explain how I want to try to do this from here on out. Obviously, I want to mention every person that we lose every week, if there's even one. But what I want to try to do is, like, video wise, I think I want to, just add that person. And when I get a couple more, or, 4 or 5, then do a bigger video with them all in there. So it's kind of, one, you got the song playing. It gives time for the song to get into it, and get into where it needs to be.
I think I'm following. I'm kind of following you. Kind of.
So, okay. So I don't have a video for David Crosby this week.
Oh, yes. That's right. That's who we're going to talk to. I was just going to say, I thought that's where you're headed to. And then I was like, wait, is that the way you're headed? And then I'm like, yes, you are.
But the thing is like, I'm like, I could make a little 5-second video on this, like the song barely played, because the song that I picked from backing tracks is actually a very beautiful song.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where, you want it to play a little bit.
Yes.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, if I'm going to do this, I want it to be at least 2 to, at least 3, where I get about 15-20 seconds out of it.
Yeah. We actually lost Bill. We actually lost him, and then we lost another one too.
Who else did we lose? Well, who did I not met? Yeah.
Briscoe. If you're a wrestling fan.
Didn't we mention that last week?
No.
Sorry, I'm lost on that one, but I know Crosby.
Yeah, a wrestler for, I think it was AEW, Briscoe. I can't remember his first name.
I can't either.
He unfortunately was killed in a car accident.
Yeah, taking his daughters to cheerleading practice, I think.
Right.
Okay, that's
yeah, but anyways, David Crosby lost his life on January 18th.
Yeah, January 18th.
I don't know if my dad's still in the chat, but he knows. I told him, I said, I don't know if I can continue doing every Thursday and losing somebody. I'm over it already.
Yes.
Right.
David Crosby. What? I remember him the first time I can remember him. He was on Roseanne. He played his Bonnie's husband, and I can remember that. And he also, because again, remember, I've talked about how much my mom's a Phil Collins fan, and he had done the duet with Phil Collins. So I grew up with him in a different way, not necessarily with him and Nash, but at the same time, I knew who they were. So, so when we lost him, it was really sad. But I learned something really cool about him. Again, in the wake of all this, it's like you learn things about people in a really neat way. And so Kenny Loggins is going to be retiring after his next tour, which, yes, he's coming to my area. Anyway, it's kind of in my area. Anyways, and I learned something really cool about him and David Crosby, and that Crosby and Nash were in one of his first children's record of Welcome to Pooh Corner. And I'm like, oh, they are? Like, it's just like, because their melodies are so beautiful, and you would never, and I'm like, well, of course they are. Like, and so I've been listening to like, things where they're there, Crosby and Nash were like just there in the background, but you can they make all the difference. It's like they enhance and make everything beautiful and wonderful with their voices. And, it's so sad that, again, him and Lisa Marie are gone, but at the same time, they have this beautiful legacy that each of them are leaving in their wake,
Right.
and people can just continue to listen and to enjoy.
Yeah,
As long as we continue to pass it down through the generations.
exactly. Real quick, I'm just going to read just a little bit from Variety magazine. Singer-songwriter, guitarist David Crosby, a founding member of two popular and enormously influential 60s rock outfits, the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Eventually, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, when Neil Young joined him,
Yes,
has passed away. His representative says he was 81 years old and cause of death has not been revealed at the time of this article.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the thing is, we do have some Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah,
and
we do.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young.
Yeah, we do.
That because buying lots on, I mean, the good thing about buying, at least back a couple years or 2019 era, you go on eBay, lot of 25 records for $15. Really? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how many can I do math real quick? Okay, how much money we got? Okay, well, we're good. We can do. Oh, here, let me order 5.
Yeah. And then
next thing, Kim's like coming home from work or something and going, that's a lot of boxes. I'm like, yeah, it is. You ready to go through them? Let's go through them.
yes.
I mean, that's how besides going to Goodwill, this is how that collection got built. You know, I mean, it started with a few records.
It did.
And again, I really should attach my phone to it and I can show it, but there's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes over there that still have to be gone through.
True. Yeah. That we've got.
And a lot of them are a lot of from those lots, but also a lot of them are from Goodwill. Because we went to the Goodwill one time.
And they had
they had them wrapped up in plastic. I mean, somebody had just come in and dropped off a crap load of records.
Yeah.
And so they just wrapped them up in plastic and put $20 on them.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And of course, we go over there on a Saturday when they're like every other Saturday back when they were doing the 50% off the whole store day. And we were literally loading,
backpacks, duffel bags.
Most of the time, we would go we'd go outside and I'd have to send her back in, like, go find us a duffel bag.
Yeah.
So we didn't bring nothing to carry these home with because we don't have a car. So we had to take them home. Luckily, we live not too far away from Goodwill.
Yes.
But so she'd go in and buy a couple duffel bags and then in their squad going, die by the time we get home.
Yes.
But those are the days. And again, a lot of those, a few of those are on YouTube.
Yes.
Down in our playlist or somewhere in our videos.
Videos, yeah.
There's a few of them there from that run there.
Yeah.
But those never got finished.
No, they didn't.
We never finished that series.
Nope. I know. We're bad.
Bummer. All right. Anyways. But yeah. Yes, David Crosby, man. I mean, great musician. Left a legacy of music behind.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the one thing, you know, when we can look at it, when it comes down to it, when these artists pass away, is we still have the music. We still have the music.
Yes, we do.
Regardless if it's physical with records, CDs, cassette tapes,
or nowadays
reel to reel or 8-track,
or nowadays you can stream it,
right? Or on streaming. So I mean, and that's the beautiful thing is, as long as we don't get too many more people wanting to erase our past of music.
Yeah,
we don't want that.
No,
we don't want that.
No, I seen one where I didn't put it on.
Oh, we just want to talk about that.
I decided not to put something I saw on there. I'll just say that the Queen of Souls being attacked.
Oh. Well, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, so
are we ready? Hold up. Before we actually get into this, let's do one quick happy news thing. Okay? Because the Oscar noms are out. Okay? So one, I called it. I said it's going to come down to Austin and Brendan Fraser are going to both be up for Best Actor for Oscars. And I think it's still going to go down between the two of them. Calling it now. I've never seen The Whale, so of course I want, Austin Butler to get it, especially now. But then for us nerds, even the Batman is up for Oscar noms this year. and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Angela Bassett, I am calling it out right now. She's going to get that, and Marvel is going to rejoice because us nerds don't have to wait now until the Saturn Awards if we win something. We're going to yes, we won in your face. Of course, there's a lot of Top Gun there too, so pretty cool stuff. I was very happy for once for Oscar noms. I have called it a couple times correctly the last few years with Bohemian Rhapsody and things. So I'm just, here we go. Oh, and Troy Kurtzer from last year. Totally called that. I want him to I had tears last year. I did. I was crying when he won for Coda. So I would love to have Austin Butler win it, but it's between him, Brendan Fraser. So I'm just right now, one has a Golden Globe, one has the best critics. So we'll see. We'll see.
Should we do a live show on during the Oscars?
No, because I may say something I may not want later. Okay, I have said this. I would love to see the Oscars go to a professional announcer or professional broadcast, somebody who wins the radio personality broadcasting, right. And they can do it as an honor. Because I think it could be more professional and a lot easier, smoother. Because with the Golden Globes, I was excited to see who this news host was, but there were some things that were inappropriate, I thought, and I'm nah. I think just let's get to it. A good announcer and leave your personal beef out of it.
Right. Exactly.
For fun and entertainment. So
exactly.
Anywho, but I wanted to hear because Austin Butler, of course, was got to meet Lisa Marie, and I think that's part of that's who we're talking about tonight. And I'm excited because I feel like this is kind of our own way of making a tribute and honoring her because,
right,
as we stated, none of us knew that she put out music until we all knew that she was in Michael Jackson's video, when she was his wife, but we did not know about her own music. Which, by the way, I know we're about to get into it, but I'm just going to hash up my critique now, and that is they should have done a better job at putting it out. And I don't blame it on her. I blame it on whoever. I mean, especially because this one was produced by T-Bone Burnett. So I guess I would expect more, but for some odd reason, I'm finding out now. But either way, I'm glad I'm finding out now. Better late to the party than not at all. So
it's true.
So again, what was the day of the release of this album?
May 15th. I was about to say May 12th, but it's May 15th, 2012.
Okay. Well, I pulled up an article from LA Times.
All right.
May 16th, 2012. The day after release. Lisa Marie Presley tunes in to her roots with Storm and Grace by Todd Martins. With a little help from T-Bone Burnett, Lisa Marie Presley gets back to bluesy country basics in Storm and Grace and breaks free from outside expectations. Lisa Marie Presley doesn't seem to mind that everyone in the penthouse office of Simon Fuller's XIX Entertainment, probably 19 Entertainment, XIX. Yeah, I think it's 19.
Yeah, it's 19.
I'm not good at Roman numerals. I can do the base right up to 10. I'm good. After that, I start getting confused. In West Hollywood, can see her when she extends both of her middle fingers in the direction of a reporter. She used a gesture to exemplify how she felt about being asked to promote a sexier image at one point in her career.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish that, and then I will.
Okay.
Rebuttal.
But for a woman whose life has been defined by public scrutiny, the move spoke volumes. Presley, 44, is done trying to live up to expectations that aren't her own.
So this is 10 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I would have too. Have you not? Okay, whoever said this thing to her about being sexy has not seen the Michael Jackson video and hasn't seen anything about her life. And you know what? You don't have to be completely naked and sing. You can still be nicely dressed if you choose, or jeans and a, leather jacket, whatever she wanted. She had a beautiful voice, and she should be based off of her talent, based off of her voice, not based off of being sexy. And her voice is naturally sexy. So, dude, this person that was interviewed, maybe that person knew that art guy from last week's article.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like, I'm just saying, they just like, like, no, I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just to add a little bit more here, more proof, it says in this article, her first album in 7 years, Storm and Grace, out this week, finds Presley singing She Got No Talent for Her Own. It's just her name on the deluxe edition track, Sticks and Stones. Her voice, a painful wail while slide guitars whisk around her like unseen demons. And Unbreak, Presley wonders whether she was once a backstabbing liar and is only getting what she deserves against the sound of shuffling Western Gothic grooves.
Yes.
I did make notes about that song, but okay. I think it's meaning something different, but we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. Now, just one last little bit here on this, and then we'll move on. The album, her first for Universal Republic, may serve as a career reboot, but also brings her back to her family roots, pairing her dusty, robust vocals with moody country and blues accents made famous by the Sun Studio recording house that captured the voice of her father. The stripped down affair is produced by T-Bone Burnett, an artist with a reputation for possessing a reverential encyclopedic view of the American songbook.
It's interesting. Article's interesting. It's a mix of everything.
Right. I know there's one other thing here where they talked to Burnett, and it might be in my other article I have. But one thing is it does talk about recording in England, like you brought up earlier. Oh, here it is, right here. Yes, I knew it was in this one. Speaking about recording the album, in the line between Burnett and her father, says Burnett is also a fan of Elvis. Yeah. Isn't direct. It does exist. Burnett worked with Elvis contemporary Roy Orbison and recorded with Elvis's TCB band on records he produced with Elvis Costello.
Wow.
So, so he understood how. I mean, he also understood the roots of Lisa.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's just like what Kenny said here. She was a very underrated artist. Very underrated artist.
And for somebody who was very much in the public eye, she was still somehow underrated. That's just the crazy thing. That is the absolute. It's like a contradiction. She's like Elvis Presley's daughter. Everybody knows her. She was in Michael Jackson's video. Everyone knows her.
Right.
But then her own music was left very underrated. And again, discovering her music, or in this particular this album, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and I love how they intertwined the country, the folk, the blues, the what they called roots rock.
Right.
Okay. Really the beginning of rock and roll. Thank you to her dad, again, but it was just beautifully entwined together on this album. And you could feel that coming through her voice, and her as she's saying. And again, though, I just wish it would have been. And of course, this took her a few years. So, it'd been 7 years, but out of that 7 years, technically she took off 4 because, it took her 3 years to get this, because based off an Oprah Winfrey interview, she had started like in 2010 or something. So it took her several years to get there.
Yeah, and actually that says right here. I mean, it actually mentions that right here at the top of Wikipedia. Presley originally began work on the album in 2010. She confirmed during an interview with Oprah, and that she was that she was in London recording a new album, which at the time was due to be released in 2011.
Yes.
There is a very good chance, though, I heard that because I did watch Oprah at the time. But at the same time, I'm like, by the time it came out, I don't know why. I can't go back to 2012 though and go, okay, I want to listen
Right.
now. But I get to still enjoy it now.
Right. I mean, I know for me, and we're gonna bounce around with a lot of stuff. Nicole's got a lot of notes, so we're gonna talk. I mean, obviously, we can talk about the songs in order, or we can just bounce around. Like as I'm listening to this first time, and I'm going, okay, I'm loving this. I'm loving the sound. I mean, there's nothing like going, oh no, not for me, not for me. And again, mentioning, the mixture, you get the rock, you got the the rhythm and blues, and then also the country mix. And literally we got to when I got Soften the Blues, I'm like, and listening to the song, I'm like, why was this not on country radio?
Yeah.
I'm
Because
just
this really could have been on several different stations.
well,
really.
I know, but I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm hearing, the steel guitar, and it was like, this is got your mix of, even in 2012, it's got your mix of current country, the way country was with the little old school, like I said, with the steel guitar, because most artists nowadays barely use a steel guitar.
Oh, I love steel guitar.
Hey, Isaac.
Hey, Isaac. So, just curiosity, was that your overall feel for the record, or record music, the album?
My whole overview is this is an album that don't need a genre labeled on it.
Okay.
It is a mix. I told Kim, and I'm gonna bring it up when I got done listening to this. When I was trying to start my supposed rock band, me and my lead singer, we wanted our band to be where we would be everything. We would have the hard rock, the metal, the pop, the country, alternative. We wanted to be everything. We wanted them to go, we don't know where to stick this. We don't know on the shelf. We can't stick it in rock because it's not pure rock. We can't stick it in country because it's not pure. We don't have a spot for this. We can't stick it in alternative because it's not even alternative. But that's how I felt this album. It's like it's got such a mix of her roots. Again, I know they keep, and even Apple on there even talked about going back to her roots. And I'm like, and I agree, because I hear the Elvis influence. You can hear the Elvis influences. And you don't darn well that not only did Elvis, up to her 9th year when he passed away, but also the influences from her mom afterwards. And that's what shaped her into the artist that she became, especially on this album. This album here was finally Lisa Marie's album.
Right. What about you, Kim? What was your overall feel? Didn't mean to put you on the spot, Kim.
No.
I'm curious.
No, it's okay. I guess the whole overall feel for me was there wasn't a song on here that didn't say a message to whatever you were dealing with. I mean, if you're dealing with a lot of stress or a lot of sadness or a lot of other emotions in your life, this album kind of spoke to that. It spoke to your emotions. It spoke to, well, to me, but it spoke to what you were feeling that day. And it was something that you could go to, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that's dealing with this in life. And that's what I loved about it, is it was something that you could relate to. No matter where you are in your life, you can relate to it. And it's not just one song you can relate to multiple songs.
I agree. I felt it was hauntingly beautiful. That was the word I had for the 2 words I had for overall for this album. Hauntingly beautiful. And again, a beautiful twine of the different genres. You remember the scene? You guys have seen Lilo and Stitch, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, there is that scene, and we have seen it in memes now. And it's also a GIF. And she's on the floor. She's listening to Elvis, right? On the on right. She's listening to it, and I'm like, today, I was like, no, I do that with this album, Storm and Grace, and I could listen to So Storm and Grace has officially been now listed on my. I don't have a huge long list of albums I can listen to beginning to end. This I can listen beginning to end and not skip, because each song is hauntingly beautiful with messages and poetry. I actually wish this would almost be turned into a book of poetry. And she wrote it. Special note, this is where this differs between her and her dad. She wrote her music. And it's beautiful. In this particular, for this album, it's beautiful, and every word just kind of hits you differently. As you were saying, Kim, I totally agree that it just, how you're feeling that day. And that is what just separated her from her dad, is the fact that she wrote it and she earned it and owned it. And I love it. And then again, that beautiful sultry voice that she has, that's so, it's slightly different from his, but it lends just perfectly with this album. Exactly. And again, I just wish I would have known about it for the last 10 years. I'm like, I could have been listening to this. I would have been listening to this in some of those moments where I'm just like, yep, that kind of day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Click.
If I would have heard this 10 years ago and it would have had the album, the thing is more likely, I'll bring up my daughter, Hannah. She more likely would have had it too. She would have heard it, even though we didn't live, I would have been like, Hannah, get this freaking record. Get this album, get this, we'll get it on your iTunes, whatever you got, get it, because you're going to love it.
Yeah.
And just because I did pull 2 articles, but this one I only pulled a lot of her interview portions of it. This is done May 20th, so 5 days after release.
Yes.
So 4 days after that last article from the LA Times. This is actually put on out by Reuters. It's the title of the whole article is After Storm, Lisa Marie Presley finds grace in new album. It was by Pia Sinha Roy. Anyways, in one of the quotes here I took, and I quote, "In this process of writing this record, I found a better bed for myself and my voice and my writing to lie in," end quote.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's a writer.
Yes.
Like Lisa Marie was a writer. Like, I don't think we gave her credit for that. In fact, it's so odd because when thinking back to the past week or so, I would refer to her, as Elvis's daughter. I'd refer to her as a mom or a singer. And now I'm just like, she was a songwriter. Like, and that needs to be so noted. She was a songwriter. She was an excellent writer. And again, I would love to see, like, this album, I could just see it as artwork on my wall. Right. I could see it on my coffee table. I want this everywhere because the lyrics it's poetry. It's poetry set to music, and it's just wonderful. And I want more of it. No. And now I'm not going to get more of it, but it's like, okay, how can they do something else with it? Because I really feel like, if Priscilla or Riley wanted to, they probably could. They probably really could go, Mom's music really could be in a, coffee book with some beautiful artwork that honors her, know.
So
I can see it.
I'm curious on your guys' views, on both of your views on this, because we're talking about, Elvis. Yes, he did really go out and, okay, Neil Diamond wrote Sweet Caroline and Elvis would redo it. Both great versions. I've also heard Elvis do Proud Mary, great version, also CCR. But then, you got all the older songs, Hound Dog and all those, Do you wonder, had he survived?
Okay.
Had he lived and still been alive today?
Okay.
That she would have been a writer, been writing these and instead it would have been him singing her songs.
I think it could have been both.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I think he could have sang her songs. And I think he would have done it with pride. And I think they would have done some duets together.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about later
We
Yes,
will.
we
We
will.
will.
at the end of
We
the
will.
show.
I mean,
we got some bonus.
There's, speaking of duets, one thing that's really came available through technology is the fact that we've had the opportunity to have a lot of kids or be able to sing with their parents when they didn't, obviously. And what I'm talking about is like Hank Williams Jr. singing with his father, Hank Williams. We've had those opportunities now where they've done really masterful jobs at getting these mixed in perfectly together, while stuff was recorded back in like the 50s, 60s, and
right.
I mean, that's where I'm talking with Ellis, but obviously with Hank, you're talking 50s, probably 40s.
Yeah.
And a lot of that older stuff like that, be able to mix that in, even with the 80s and 90s, like technology, like, wow, and that's one thing I think is really cool, where they had that opportunity to be able to say, hey, you're able to record something with your with your mother or your father. I mean, who knows, one day we may also find out there's a vocal part of Naomi Judd.
Yeah.
Naomi Judd is laying out there in a vault somewhere because it's an outtake of a song that she wanted to do. And Winona decided, what, let's pull that out. Let me sing with her and bring back another Judd song.
Yeah, exactly.
It could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, it could.
But one other thing that this one from Reuters points out, and it talks about, while Lisa remains vague about the inspirations for the songs of her new record, the lyrics give her thoughts a voice, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
Her musical influences range wildly, she said, avoiding mentioning her dad and offering a strong affinity for the 70s singer-songwriters Don Volkerberg, Gordon Lightfoot, and Neil Young, musicians who forged their careers following Elvis's success.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So, again, and you hear it in this album.
You do.
What I don't understand is why no one just allowed her. I mean, obviously, I can't really say a lot about her first two albums because I've not gone back and really listened to them.
Yeah.
I've listened to a song here and there because I know and we're going to get into another one here in a little while, but she did on one of her earlier albums a cover of Dirty Laundry.
Yes.
By Don Henley.
Yep.
Now, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's different. Because the hard thing when you do a cover is if you change it, especially someone like in our age group, we're like, okay, we remember Don Henley's version.
Yes, we do.
And so when they change it to where it changes, you're like, it takes you back for a minute.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, all right, no.
Yeah, because either you like it or you don't. Right. Versus this is her own work.
Writing.
This is her writing, and it's, again, poetry to music.
I don't know if this would be of any, but the music, the other thing that was so awesome about it for me is it sounds to me it's like a book of what she went through in life.
It's quite possible.
Yeah, it's her biography put to music. What the trials, the tribulations, trying to live as being a Elvis Presley daughter, and to me it just sounded like she was just telling her story set to music in the different songs that she had put on this album.
Possible. It's greatly possible,
Right. And the guitar work, I mean, the music itself again, Nicole brings it not only which is her lyrics, but also the whole ensemble together, that she gave me the words that, haunting, beautiful, beautiful haunting. And that exactly is I love the dark. I mean, I'm one of those who does like that darker sound
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
and literally this album takes you somewhere.
it does.
I feel like I'm on a journey
Yeah.
when I listen to it. And those are the albums where, like, Nicole mentioned, yes, I will pop in whatever record, and I will, especially on records, I will listen to the whole thing because I'm not going to go, all right, yep, there we go, got it, to listen to one or two songs. CDs and streaming have made that so much easier. Oh, let me just listen to this song. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas versus a record, you have to go, okay,
Oh my
where does the
gosh.
needle
Well,
gotta go?
that's how a lot of the records got destroyed. Like a lot of my mom's stuff did get ruined back in the day by me because I'm like, no, I want this song over here. I don't want to listen to the whole. I want this song, and then I get it really close, and then my little sister come on or something, and my whole hand would go.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's nice scratch marks on a lot of them records, especially my mom's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still blame myself because I was hard on them. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, geez, and of course, listen to the whole thing. Listen to the deluxe version.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. A lot of time when they bring out deluxe versions, the bonus tracks are usually, stuff that was originally not supposed to be the album, but they decided to we'll just throw them in there. Let you hear them. Here's some of our extra stuff that we weren't going to put on the album, and you're just like, no, this was.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Those
felt
extras
like
were good.
this felt together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of artists that can do that.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
I mean, most of the time they take something off a record that's taken off for a reason. And usually when you hear it, finally you're like, yeah, I get it. I got why you didn't put it on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially like nowadays, our bands, the bands that we grew up on in the 80s, in the 90s, they're all now re-releasing deluxe versions where you're getting every demo they did for the album. Like, really, this song sucked.
Yeah. But what you see is the build up to it though, where with this one, the deluxe version, there's no build up. Every song has its own little meaning as to, you're not seeing how she put them together. You're seeing how they fit together, how the first song fits with the last song, how the start of the story goes, the middle of the story, and the end of the story.
Yeah.
With this one.
So I guess one of my questions would be, and I'll tell everybody right now, when I ask this question, I can't give an answer.
Okay.
But do you have one what you would consider favorite track off this album?
Yes.
Well, you, Kim.
Not just one, but
okay. I did again. This is an album though. I can listen beginning to end. I could wait for that track because I like the other songs, and I like the songs that come after it. I didn't even actually continue. I did not go and search out that song again. I think I listened to this record now several times. And hey, Shanti. But this one particular song, for some odd reason, just enough that I did the research to look up the lyrics because I'm like, I want to know the lyrics. I just, and I was like Kim was saying earlier, these songs really hit you differently. They are messages. They really are, and they're, and again, there's another song which we will get back to that you were mentioning earlier that I like, but I have questions about it. But yeah. Should I say what song I'm talking about?
Yes.
I actually was quoting this earlier because I thought I just loved it so much, and that is "Storm of Nails." I don't know. I get this song, and I'm just like, oh, where has this been the last 10 years? And I'm like, it was there, and I just didn't know it. And I'm going to quote it. I did quote it on my Twitter today, and the first verse goes, It's been a long highway. Where do I get off and drive? I think it's easy. I'm looking for a sign that should say, when you've had enough, exit here. And I'm like, Soul Sister, where have you been? Why haven't I known this song the last 10 years? And it's like, I'm glad I have it now, although it's been here the whole time. And it's just like, that song just resonated. It just like hit me. Like I heard the lyrics and I went, because that was the one thing I will say about this album is that because they are almost all hauntingly beautiful, as I call it, and dark, they kind of wave in together. Does that make sense? Like they just
It does.
go into the next, into the next, into the next, which is one reason why I don't mind waiting for that song, because there are beautiful messages in the other ones. But that one, when the lyrics start going, I was just like, oh, I relate to this. I really like I could feel it in my soul, and I was just like, wow. There's also one called Forgiving, but that again, they were all great. Again,
Yeah.
I would love to have it in a book of poetry because I would read them. I would just
Right.
read them. You know,
Exactly. I mean, that's where, I would, again, I'm one of those ones where, man, I wish I would have known about it. I would have had to see.
I want the album. I'm like, I want vinyl. That's what I want. On this one, I want vinyl. Put that on there, beginning to end.
Hopefully, I mean, I don't know who. I mean, unlike we know like Elvis Presley's run by Elvis Presley Enterprises. I don't know who's going to run. Maybe Riley and the twins. Maybe they'll decide, and Lisa, or even Priscilla. Maybe they'll decide to re-release her stuff on vinyl.
Yeah,
maybe. But I think we're going to see that in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it time, and we'll see what happens. Because I would buy this one on vinyl. Like if I had the opportunity, this would be a vinyl because it's one again. It goes on a very special for me, a very prized list of what I will listen to beginning to end on an album, from the beginning to the end of it.
So, would you bring that up? Give us one other album that's on that list.
No, because I want to save that. Maybe that would be a great discussion for another day.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to say, because we'll go totally off a whole nother trail, and I want this to remain all about Lisa Marie as much as possible.
Okay.
I actually picked that up because, like you said, the whole album was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the one, and I believe this was on my top 5. I don't remember where I put the list, but how do you?
You wrote a list?
Yeah, I wrote a list. I don't know what happened to it.
Why on your phone?
No, it was not on my. No.
Where'd you make the list at?
It was in a notebook. It's how do you fly this plane?
Okay, yes, that was also a very good one. Yes.
And to me, it's like, okay, so you go about your day-to-day tasks, your day-to-day employment, your day-to-day, your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's what your day-to-day life is. It's how do I drive this airplane of life
Mm-hmm.
when it's such an up and down emotional experience?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like, how can I go on and live my life knowing that there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be positives, there's going to be negatives. It's like, it was just so, I mean, it was one of them that I really enjoyed listening to was that, how do I fly the plane?
And I felt that way too. I was thinking about how she wasn't talking about a real airplane. She was metaphorically talking about life. She was talking about how do I handle this? And I'm like, again, another song, we can relate to, because it's like, how do I do this? I'm trying to figure this out. And I like how she used her own words to create that, because
right. I mean, and I just pulled the lyrics up, so I mean, I'll even just give the first verse. There should be an answer for all of this, my friend.
Yes. Oh my God.
In questions are so appropriate. Like, can you live? Can you feel? Should you stay? I strain for words I cannot or I can't say. For words I just can't say.
Yeah. And
Oh yeah.
it
I
I
mean,
felt that. I felt that right here. And I'm
yeah,
like, put it
Mhm.
up on my wall.
right.
I love it. I want it on my wall. I want it in an art. I want it in art form because it's just so beautiful. It's just,
Yeah.
I love it.
The thing
Sorry.
is, and I know the one thing we've been talking about here is, you know, this whole album, the songs touch you,
Yeah, they do.
and every one of
Mm-hmm.
them. I mean, and that's why for me, I can't sit here and say I have an absolute favorite because every
Yeah.
one of them touched me.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because if you listen to the album, like, like I mentioned earlier, each song brings you back to a time in your life that you may have been what you may have been going through at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, like you said, Nicole, she put it in her words, and it's
Mm-hmm.
something that people can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, just go like for just like relating. Okay, so without even me, and I can say this by looking when I first looked at the album, I looked at all the songs, and went, okay, whoa, okay, I can relate a lot of this stuff right now. I mean, without even looking at the lyrics. I mean, just
Yeah.
in the song titles, over me.
Yeah.
Well, I can take that to your sister.
Yeah.
Am I over her?
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Well, that would be my, for me, that was a battle cry, a year after or so, when everything started, or not even a year, I mean, a few months after her death, where I hit rock bottom, but I decided to come out, you helped me get out of the friggin' ashes. And now we're doing a podcast, I mean, weary.
Yeah.
I am weary on people. I mean, again, I can do this with every friggin' song. Close to the edge. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Close to the edge of falling, of
Falling
leaving,
Yeah.
leaving this earth for myself,
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
And then okay, so I guess for me, the one that really touched me was Unbreak.
Yes.
I mean, I really get down to it. I love that one. And I think Weary, if I remember right, was the first really blues number.
Yes.
And I heard that hit. I'm just like, oh yes. And again, now had she released this stuff, let's say she would have done this in the 80s or whatnot, right? I don't think I would have been as appreciative of the blues at that time.
Yeah.
Because even I'll rewind this, take it back to like Cinderella, the rock band Cinderella, their song Long Cold Winter. I hated that song.
Oh yeah.
In 1988 when it came out,
Yeah.
I was like, this song sucks.
Yeah.
And in 2005, when I listened to that song for the first time in 20 years,
yeah,
and I'm like, what the heck were you? Whoa, dude, you are missing a lot here.
Yeah.
And I ended up and of course that at that time, me and I don't mean to always bring her up, but we started going to like jazz shows, at the top of casinos or blues shows, straight up blues. And for me, music, I was really growing musically.
Well, yeah.
But again, I mean,
it's just the whole album. I mean, it's just such.
It takes you on a ride.
It does. It takes you on a ride.
And like Nicole was talking, you have
this, it's like a wave.
Like a wave, or even like a
into another one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because it goes into one, it goes into another, and it just like a wave. It's just and it works. It works. And so that means whoever orchestrated how the songs were going to be put on the album also knew this is going to work this way, because because it did have. That's the only thing I said is it wasn't like it was a mix of different sounds. Like this was. It did keep that same hauntingly beautiful sound throughout. So it wasn't like you had a song that went, whoa. Basically, if it's going, whoa to you, it's because of the exactly what you called this, because it's poetry and it's what's speaking to your heart at that time.
Yes.
It's speaking to you. I want to go back. We talked about this earlier before we actually got started. Song was it they were talking about in the article about, was it Sticks and Stones, and about how they're like, oh, well, she was a liar, or what is that? Can you remind me what that was from the article? Because I wanted to address that, because I do believe I made notes on that one, because I was like, wait a minute, hold up.
It's actually in the song Unbreak.
Oh, it's Unbreak. It's not Stick and Stones.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, Sticks and Stones. Before we talk about Unbreak, Sticks and Stones for me, when I was listening to it, I thought, wow, that sounded like something that she went through, or inner battle. That's what that sounded like. It doesn't necessarily have to be true in life, because there are times where we are literally fighting inner battles in our hearts and in our minds and in our souls. And it's like we have devil on one side, Satan on one side, angel on the other, and they are just battling, right? And that's how I felt this was. It felt like a battle, like an inner battle. And you could just, I could feel that. I was like, wow, I could feel that was an inner battle. Like she went through something and tried her best to explain what that inner battle could have been, or how she might have felt. And even if she didn't express it, that's another thing. People don't understand, is that sometimes we have these inner battles that we're not expressing. We're thinking it. We're crying over it behind closed doors, and it was just there.
Right. I think what they were talking about in the article, that Sticks and Stones is actually about her. Because I got the lyrics right here. That girl, I've seen her. I don't care for her at all. She got a silver spoon, an attitude. She got a wall. She does. Yeah. Why does she do this? Why is she doing that? She never smiles. It's all her fault. That everything went bad. And then the chorus, you can take my place. You do it better anyway. But you better hide your bones from all the sticks and stones.
See? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I was just going to say, see, that's the inner battle, though, right? You got Satan and an angel, and that's the inner battle. The other one going, but you know what I mean? And they're just battling it. I'm just like, I could feel that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like somebody go hug that girl. Like you could feel that tension and that stress, and just done in, again, a beautiful way.
Right. And then it goes, too bad she ain't just like her daddy. But what a shame. She's got no talent of her own. It's just mean. She looks bad. She looks mad. Why is she saying that? Why is she so angry, so mean? I just don't understand. And it goes back in the chorus.
Yeah.
Right. Again, it's like we can see that she was doubting herself.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe she wasn't feeling this when she was writing Storm of Grace. Maybe she was writing from a past experience when she was really down on herself. And like, here's how I have felt in the past. Here is what this looks like. When she gets in her head and she doesn't understand. Like I said, what I said at the beginning is that what separates her from her dad is the fact that she wrote her music. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think that it captures Lisa Marie in a different way than Elvis. And they're both amazing and great in their own ways. I just love the fact that she showed us that.
Right.
It's really sad, but at the same time, she showed us that, and we've all been there, right? We've all had the inner battles, the inner struggles. We've doubted ourselves, and for anybody to go, oh well, that's like that. Well, that's because they're not admitting the fact that they've had their own inner struggles or battles, and that's something that they've got to cope with. So.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to go over a little more of the production real quick.
Okay.
Over an 8-month period, just Lisa Marie talking, I wrote 30 songs. I was fortunate to be able to write with some incredible artists and singers such as Richard Hawley from Plub, Eric Hargrove, Sacha Scarbeck, and Fran Healy from Travis, to name a few, said Presley. Nothing was planned or contrived in a way, and out of it came a very organic record that was always inside of me, and I am incredibly proud of it. It was a dream come true. Such an honor when T-Bone liked the songs and produced and played and played on the record.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
mean, and then what I didn't read before that was she had talked about how when she went to England to attempt to write another record after finding myself in considerable disheartened and uninspired state creatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she took
I'm
that. She took that though and made it into something very gorgeous and beautiful and
yeah,
uh,
I know. I mean, and that's what I mean. I love trying to find all of the stuff behind these art, behind what they're doing, you know, because you learn a lot of, you kind of learn. And again, I use this because I have the book, but I use I'll bring up the Heroin Diaries,
Yeah.
from Motley Crue. There are a few songs on the Girls Goes Girls album, one song in particular, where it's Nikki Sixx screaming for help.
Yes, I think
But none of us, I mean, I'm talking fans alone, none of us recognized it at that time.
No, I think I know what song you're
It's
talking.
a song called Dancing on Glass.
Yep.
But, and that's the thing is sometimes we don't recognize that stuff,
Yeah.
And whatnot, or, like fans of Nirvana, they didn't recognize some of the stuff that Kurt Cobain was screaming out.
For help, yeah.
And it isn't until later when, we get either a book or the artist finally starts talking about some of the turmoils they're going through. But here, Lisa, I mean, was being upfront, like, hey, I wasn't able to be creative. I was, I was going through this, and over an 8-month period, it took me to write, with some great other artists who helped to write this album.
Yeah.
Which we listen to it now and we're like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're listening to it 10, almost 11
years later.
Yeah.
And we're just like blown away, like, who failed at promoting this record?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I said. I'm like, what? How did I not know this? I will like to add though, is that, okay, I was going with one thought, but my brain caught something I wrote down. So I'm going to real quick say that and hopefully get back to where I was. Storm and Grace was 45 on the U.S. Billboard, and 21st top rock albums as well. So it did actually top the charts. I'm just still like, how? Maybe it was just not maybe my local radio just wasn't playing it. I'm not sure. I think this was also during a time though when everything was changing though. We were like less radio, more like hello Spotify, hello Pandora. MTV has pretty much not MTV and hasn't been for a very long time. So it wasn't like we were getting it there.
No,
so again, we I don't know. For some reason, this did not get on my hello, Sir Charles. Oh,
about to say, hey, son's like football night. Well, good luck to your son. Have a great show. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
and
good luck
definitely
to
hit
son,
smash that like button there, buddy. Yes. But yeah, no, you're so right, because at this point here, I mean,
we're doing the changing.
I mean, at this point, I do have. I mean, I already had an iPod. Finally, took me forever to get one, and I mean, and the sad part about it is, I was going to record stores.
Yeah,
we had a record store in University Mall in Orem, Utah.
Yes,
I was frequenting that place.
Yeah,
and how I never came across this, because I was always, I'm one of those ones where I walk into a music store and I will go through every CD, cassette tape, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that, obviously in 2012 it's CDs, and I'm looking through every section.
Yeah.
And either they didn't have it, or I didn't come across it, which really just irks me.
Right.
Like, I wish I would have saw this back then.
Right.
I mean, the only other thing I could do would be like look up like what was the big hits around this time.
Right. But she was on those, on the Billboard, but I'm like, okay, hold up. I am going to add a quick sidebar here.
Sweet.
We know I love Queen. Okay. We all love Queen.
Yes.
But let's go back to a very famous now song that they wrote after they came to visit the United States and how they felt about radio. Radio Gaga. Okay, it was Freddie Mercury's FU to the US radios because they weren't playing Queen. You know, at the time they were being, well, for some odd reason, not all, and I'm not going to say all, okay, I'm going to say some radio disc jockeys were just being stinkers.
Yeah.
And he pretty much did an FU with the song Radio Gaga, you know, and I wonder, I'm like, well, did that happen? Is that not why? Or did it maybe hit in certain parts of the country? Like maybe was it down the South that it hit better? And so they were playing it more, but then they weren't like, I'm in, you know, not that, well, at the time I was not that, I was in the Chicagoland at the time. So like, was it just not because of the type of music it was it just not being played because they were like, well, where do we put this?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, where do we put this? You know, and I get it, but it's like, it could have been played in country. And maybe it was, and maybe I just kept missing it, but I'm glad I can listen to it now and continue to listen because it's absolutely wonderful and beautiful. And if you're watching us today or hearing us later on audio and you've not heard of Storm and Grace by Lisa Marie Presley, please take even an hour and just listen to her music or listen to this particular album because it's absolutely, as I've continued to say, hauntingly beautiful in its own right. It's kind of even relaxing. Again, like I said earlier, like I could be listening to it like Lilo and Stitch. Just put it on the record and just, okay, we're going to be okay, people. Just give me an hour and a half. We're going to be okay, but let me have my hour and a half just to, to relax and listen to her music.
And to bounce off what you're saying there, Nicole, I mean, literally, the deluxe version is 58 minutes, 21 seconds long.
Yeah.
Take an hour.
It's barely, not even close to a full hour. So take an hour out of your time, listen to this record. Start, listen to the album one.
And that was another thing I felt with this album. Was that this is an album that I could play while I was cleaning my house. This is an album I could listen to while I am reading my books. This is an album that again, Lilo and Stitch style, I just need to mellow out.
Yeah.
This is it. This is one of those albums. And I'm just so like, I love the fact that I finally am listening to it. I'm just like, wish I would have known about it the last 10 years. But it is what it is. I need to get over it. I will get over it. But, you know.
I think we all will eventually, but it's like, where, I mean, again, where was the promotion?
Yeah.
Why, I mean, even back then, why was I not seeing anything about it?
Well, yeah.
Maybe again, does it come down to because of where we live, different areas. Maybe it was just put out in different areas, and I would hope that it was down Tennessee, like that they at least covered that area. But why did it not get? I don't know, because we do know that she did promote it on American Idol. Now I will say at this point with American Idol, okay, at some point with American Idol, I just kind of started drifting. Okay, I watched the first few seasons, but at some point I began to drift. By 2012, I did drift. So I did miss the fact that she was on American Idol. So we know that she was on Fox. So somebody did do their job. But for some odd reason, it didn't take hold enough to, I don't know, to go through the waterways. So now we'll talk about it and we'll get it out there.
Exactly.
To back off what you just said, talk about being, American Idol. I know, like me and her sister, we stopped watching after season 2.
Really? Okay, I watched it. I know I watched Carrie's. I knew about Jennifer Hudson, but again, eventually, somewhere before 2012, again, I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why. Other things just captured my attention. I just kind of, but I did go back and see that. So if you want to go back on YouTube, you can watch American Idol with Lisa Marie Presley.
Right.
So.
I think season 2 wasn't that the one that Clay won?
I think so.
Clay Aiken.
Won over Ruben, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, Ruben's a better freaking singer. I mean, that was my opinion. And I was so mad. And I told Karina, I'm like, I'm never watching this crap again. This show sucks. And I did. I mean, I miss Carrie Underwood. I miss all that other stuff. But it was just one of those things where like, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, I don't agree with. And then I think what really ticked me off was when I learned, because again, we're early days of the internet. And I learned that, oh, wait a minute, you can vote how many times?
Yeah.
So this isn't like one vote per household per American.
No.
Or, this is like, robo people, computers set up to give millions of votes really quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, see, this is where, and I think that's actually what really made me go, goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm done. If this is not, you call, their little 900 or 800 number, was 900 numbers, it's 800 number. And it would even tell you call like three more times, and then you get 3 more votes with email addresses. And so, I mean, I'm one of those ones who like had 8 freaking email addresses.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, oh my goodness. And when I realized that, I was like, man, forget this.
Yeah.
I'm done with this show. This is not what, I mean, to me, it is one vote, one done, or maybe 2 at the most, one by email and one by, but the fact that you even, multiple time call in, I was like, okay, this is not what this is about.
No.
This is supposed to be one call and that's all. That was my opinion. I mean, again, I miss Carrie, but again, when she came out, her sister Karina heard Jesus Take the Wheel. I'm like, oh, we gotta get this album. I'm like, what album? This country girl. I'm like, why are you listening to country?
Because it was really good.
Well,
I have that album.
She wasn't listening to the country when me and her first met. I mean, she was like into like Counting Crows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so and of course Britney and NSYNC and all them. But it was like, whoa, okay, now so she's literally, because she was on dialysis. So she would go to dialysis and they'd put her on the machine. And again, MTV is not music no more.
No.
There's no music at that point on MTV.
Nope.
And so, but she's watching this time CMT, Country Music Television, or GAC, Great American Country.
Yeah.
Which at those times were still showing videos.
Now they don't.
I don't know if they do anymore.
If they do, it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
But while we're on the gist of talking about other shows, I was talking to you earlier, Scott, about VH1 Divas. You want to talk about that for a quick minute?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch it?
VH1 Divas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did not realize that this happened, and now I know why. One, I looked back at the date and went, oh, because I was in active labor. Got it. That's why I missed this one. I was just like, why did I miss this? This is something I wouldn't miss. Oh, okay. This makes sense now. And so it took place May 22nd and 2003. And she and Pat Benatar, okay, when we think of the VH1 Divas, most of us think about, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, right? And then today, again, I was doing research. I'm like, Scott, can we talk about this? Because all of a sudden, it's like I'm listening to her and Pat Benatar, and my brain is like thinking, why didn't they just go to a recording studio and record this? Because this was a powerful duet. And if I'll be honest, if Lisa Marie this was her original song, I would never know the difference, because she was a powerhouse. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And then you added her and Pat Benatar together. I'm like, this is explosive. I loved it. It was explosively good. And I'm just like, why didn't they just go to why didn't they go to record this? This should have been recorded, because it was just so amazing. And at this point, VH1 has it, and only people who have actually recorded it have that. Yeah. And it's like, no, that was so good. Probably one of my favorite VH1 divas. Because again, and also from 2 women who are not, I would not consider divas either.
Yeah.
Because I find Lisa Marie very authentic. I don't know much about Pat
Yeah.
Benatar, but I've always felt that Lisa Marie has always been authentic. And I say that because, I remember now her as, Elvis's daughter, but, when she was with Michael, she was always seemed to be very genuine and very authentic. Her stories do not change. They have not changed. And again, I don't think about them as divas, but yet that powerhouse voice. I wrote, Scott, oh my gosh, how am I now discovering this? When I finally did all the research to find the date, I'm like, oh, that's why.
Well, see, and that's the thing I didn't do. I didn't go look up the date. I thought, well, how come I miss? Because I'm kind of like, like, how did I miss this? And I'm like, oh, heck, well, I'll just wait for the show because I'm sure Nicole's going to have the date for me. And now, talking about 2003, going, let's see, whoa, yeah, I didn't have cable back then. All right, that's how I missed it too. But real quick, your dad Kenny brings up, you need to remember different times and media. Elvis, no internet, none all over the world. Why? Because of radio, Lisa Marie, different times, different media, and who controls it. Agree?
Right. But I think at both times there is some type of control in other places.
Well, I know we talked about it. Oh, I don't remember when, but we had an episode where we talked about, we went deep into, we kind of went down that rabbit hole of singles. Remember this when we talked, and we found out that a lot of it, especially back in, even Elvis's day, it was how much money and how many perks could they give a DJ.
Exactly.
Right.
So they're literally buying an album or a single to be number one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, now that's wrong.
Yeah.
But again, there was people there not to control it.
Yeah.
And so, but again, like your dad said, different times, and he's right. I mean, even like today, I mean, Justin Bieber, YouTube star becomes. I mean, all you gotta do. He was a YouTube star first, and now look at him.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, and the problem is that's how it works now. They're not going to clubs or whatnot and playing, even like, let's say, like I bring up like Motley Crue or Rat or even those 80 bands, they're not going to clubs and playing. They got to get their stuff on YouTube and hope it hits viral. If it goes viral, they will become a recording star now or be on American Idol or America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
What's another one? Is there any more? The Voice.
The Voice, yeah.
The Voice, So, I mean, definitely different times. And, but yeah, this album here, I'm happy we found it when we did, though.
I'm so glad we did. I really believe that it, even though I miss the fact that I didn't get to have it for the last 10 years, I'm grateful that we have it now. And what a timing, because again, we did Elvis, the movie.
Right. Yeah.
Then we found out the news, and I was like, and then in preparation for this upcoming Tuesday, we found the music, and I went, want to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What timing? And all because it all stemmed out of our love for Elvis and that movie, and then the movie and so forth, and just the timing. It's just
the timing.
Maybe it's serendipitous. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it's definitely interesting timing.
Right. I mean, and that's the one thing about this show. I mean, unfortunately, I felt bad because Luna Girl's been off and doing everything she's got going on with her Padawan, and I forgot to mention it to her, Sunday that, hey, we're not doing Time Bandits. We're going to be doing this. So yesterday during the reads from the Red 5 stuff, it comes up Time Bandits. Went, oops.
Yeah.
I knew there was something I forgot to do.
Yeah.
I knew there was something. So, and then, and then of course, we're going to, just to bounce off real quick up this little sidebar here. We are going to play it by ear for next week. If she's ready to go, then Kim and I will finish off, watch the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 of Wednesday. And then, Nicole and Lunar Girl will come back on and we'll talk. But if, Lunar Girl little girl can't go. This is our show. That's our, we decided it early on. If the 4 of us show, or the 5 of us, 1, 2, 3, 5,
Yeah.
4, dear Lord. Well, I feel bad because Joker Voice reached out. He reached out into the comments with the first one. It's like, well, you're gonna bring me back on, right? You're gonna have me on for part 2. I'm like, yeah, probably not pro. I want you, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we started as us,
As the 4 of us.
And like I told Lunar Girl earlier on when she first
we're
gonna
gonna wait.
be gone, run away. I told her, I said, easily when you're ready, we will do.
Right.
We will finish Wednesday,
we'll
and that's how it's going to be.
Mhm.
Anyways,
I don't want us to forget what else we were going to talk about tonight.
And you've also
Okay. Yes and no. I love radio. I really do. I went to broadcasting school. I love AM actually. I love FM too. I think that they're still out there. I think they're special, but there's something. They're kind of like vinyl. They're going to come back because we still want to be entertained. We still want that information. I think it's just going to look different.
I think, in a way, I'm almost wondering, like, if like terrestrial or the radio stations themselves have kind of it's not that big anymore because mainly you've either got streaming or you've got Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely being out here, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave a big city, once you get so far out, you don't get you.
You do.
And you're like,
yeah, exactly.
No!
Or if you have a button that says scan in your car, you're scanning it to see what the next one is. And
heaven forbid be back in the 90s and you're by yourself and all of a sudden you realize, oh great, my CD case is in the back seat. Hang on a minute. Unstrap. Reach back and trying to grab the CD case, bring it forward so I can. Oh, here we go. Get the CD in here real quick.
Exactly.
Also, you look over. You're like, you're in the fast lane. And also, you're about to hit the shoulder. What? Oh, whoop, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that more than once when I had cars.
That's why I always try to make sure when I'm by myself, cassette tapes or CDs were in the front seat with me.
Well, it got to the point to where if I was in one of the cars, I made sure I had them above my head.
Oh, you had one of those visor ones?
Yes.
So, quick question before we begin to wrap up and things. Did you guys both get a chance to listen to the 4 duets?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yay! So we get to have a few minutes to talk about that. Oh my gosh, yes, because you talked about Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr.
Right.
Also, there's Natalie Cole, who also did it with her dad, Nat King Cole. But I think Lisa Marie did it 4 times. I think she did the most. And I love every single one of them. I'm not picking a favorite, and you won't make me.
Do it. You'll do it now. No, I'm joking. No, because I can't pick a favorite. I mean,
me neither.
I'm one of these ones where, a lot of times for me, and the funny part is, or it's not the funny part, the thing is actually just recent, right after the Elvis movie,
yes,
after the show that week, just right around when we got the news she passed away. That's when we finally found these, or I at least started finding them.
Yes.
And went, oh, okay. Oh, hey, let me check these out because again, you bring up Natalie Cole with her dad Nat, Hank Williams Jr., Hank Williams, and it's like, okay, let's see how, because this is one of those things where, as an Elvis fan, he died when she was 9. Could you imagine? Because he even talked about it, how great of a, she was a great singer, even early in her life, and it's just like, oh my gosh, if he would live, they could have done duets together, and a lot of, you just think of all this amazing things they could have done as father and daughter. And here you had the opportunity, and because of technology, we had it. And I think the very first one I actually heard was In a Ghetto. That was the first one I heard.
But
Oh, I
that
love it.
technically was number 2. That was the
Right.
second time.
Right.
And
And
then the one that she did with Daddy Don't Cry. Oh,
That was the
gosh.
first one, August of 1997. So all of these are in August, and so they all mirror a special time with her, like how many years he'd been passed away.
Right.
So what a beautiful like love song to her dad that she wanted to be with him, and it just August 1997, 2007, 2012, and the last one was 2018. Again, okay, I know I'm an Elvis fan. How did this just not happen? Okay, my life has been a little crazy. But they're just so beautiful, including the one from 2012 was I Love You Because, and the
Yes.
fourth one was Where No One Stands. Right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
No one stands alone.
No one stands alone. Thank you. I missed that word. I was writing so quickly. I missed that.
You're right. And
But beautiful.
I want to bounce back real quick to at least the version of the memorial service when I was watching, when they got done and they got to the point where the camera cut, but they went and put up the stuff about Grace and go, the donations in lieu of flowers and stuff. Go to Elvis Presley or the Elvis charities. Go to gracegun.com and learn more. And then they went to that song.
Oh,
and they
like a harpoon to your heart.
Oh yeah. It was like, here, we know you're already at this point, but here, let's just shoot it right through your heart.
Yeah. Well,
but it was only like probably the first verse, roughly. Maybe the whole song, thank goodness, I probably would have been a royal emotional wreck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, whoa, okay. Whoever planned to do this, I'm mad at you for doing this, but I also love you for doing this because it was perfect.
Well, yeah.
It was perfect choosing for at the end of her memorial service to play that song.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I remember when we went over looking at records and I came across the album by Elvis, No One Stands Alone.
Oh,
yeah, Where No One Stands Alone.
Oh yeah, because it was at Barnes Noble.
Yeah, and I noticed that he had a picture of him and Lisa on there, and it just drew me right to the album.
You didn't mention to me that Lisa was singing a song there.
No, I didn't mention you. I had read it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of the court. I want to let everybody know this is a funny thing with Kimberly. So in September, she tells her mother, and I'm sidebarring real quick on this because she tells her mom in September, "Yes, mom, we will get the military the
military
flag
case to hold
her dad's flag.
To hold my dad's flag."
I find this out. We're gonna do it for Christmas. I find this out the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Communication.
I know.
Communicate.
I know.
There's a really great song. Then we're gonna go back to this. Back to what we're actually really talking about is there's a great song for that. It came out in 1983. It's the very last song on this album. It's on an album called Out of the Cellar. It's called Lack of Communication.
Yeah.
Do you know who the artist is?
Yes, I know.
Okay. And for those of you that don't, it's Rat, R-A-T-T.
Yes. But yeah, that's what actually drew me to it. And then I flipped it over and noticed the song listing. And then, yes, that's where I noticed that Lisa and him did the duet together.
Right. Well, it was post.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Post whatever. So basically he was already passed away. So that means the album was newer and she was obviously already an adult because that, again, Don't Cry Daddy was 1997. So it would have been somewhere after 1997.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, Nicole. There's no way I could choose any one of them songs.
No, you're not going to make me. I'm like, this is what I couldn't. I was just like, I wrote all 4 down and I'm like in the year and I'm just like, they're each beautiful and wonderful. And I couldn't pick. They're just each special for a different reason.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And yes, I know. I mean, like I said, as we were going through, we started finding these and like I said, I heard the End and Ghetto one. Then we also heard, I think the next one I actually heard was where No One Stands Alone. And I'm like, Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. These are, boom, two powerful songs by Elvis, but now add her
Right.
with it. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
it's even better.
Yeah.
And then find the other two eventually, like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
wow. And of course, it just brings it back to my theme is like, oh, dude, only, only if, what could we have had? But at the same time,
Yeah.
would her voice been like that?
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. And I know we could have saved this for when we actually just talk about Elvis's music, but it felt more right to talk about it tonight because we're a tribute to her. We're honoring her, and next time it's going to be all about him.
Right.
And well, okay, he's got a whole series all about him, but
he's got multiple episodes coming about him.
Yes, he does.
I felt she deserved her own light. She's a beautiful songwriter and deserves a lot of love and credit.
Exactly. One thing, and I know I didn't bring it up, but one story I love the most by Jerry Schilling about Memphis. About Memphis was she's the only one that could intimidate Jerry Lee Lewis.
Do you think that was because he was just like, you're just like your dad? Do you think that maybe he saw Elvis in her and he went, yeah, no, we ain't gonna touch that?
I mean, to sit there and he tells the story of literally she's like, so Jerry Lee, I heard you ran into the gate at Graceland, and for him just to go, for him just to I guess freeze up in a way and like, wow.
Oh, hold on, let's go back to Priscilla. I mentioned this at the beginning.
Okay.
That she read. She didn't say. I'll have to go back and listen if she said whichever twins' name.
No, she just said it was my granddaughter.
Yeah.
That means another granddaughter is a very good writer. That was also poetry. I'm like, oh, it's coming down through you can see the creativity's there.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We'll give this some time. We'll see in the next 10 years if we have another, well, in this case, right,
it'd be a Lockwood.
Their last name would be a Lockwood, but still, it would still have a Priestley presence, there.
Yep.
Because that writing was it Old Soul?
Yeah, it was Old Soul.
Old Soul. Again, that's how well I remembered it because it was that good. I was like, wow. Like I didn't even have to write that down because I remembered that. And thinking about it now, I'm just like, we could see more. Yeah. We can see more, but we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean seriously. I know we really didn't go over it, but I mean, well, let's see. Wait a minute. I think guitar players or all the players during are different than actually on stage because obviously you watch all the videos for this one. It was only 2 videos, which I'm really shocked.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through it going, well, that could have been a video, that could have been a video, this could have been a video. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it costs a lot of money to make a video, and obviously we're talking 2012 where, well, if they are on MTV, it's after midnight. If there is a video section. I mean, nowadays these guys make videos and it's like they're making them put them on YouTube. So but I'm looking here and I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay, I just want to see if he was actually on the album.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Lockwood. I mean, they had it. The thing is regardless of what they had in at their end of their divorce and their horrendous custody battle they had, the man is a good guitar player.
Yes.
I mean, watching that, like the performance from American Idol, like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have more guitar players there too, but he is a good guitar player. But other than that, I mean, Lisa Marie was definitely not only a great writer, great singer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really sucks that. I mean, that one. I mean, I'm not just meaning because we didn't find this until 10 years later after her passing, but it just really sucks that no one ever said we need get another one try to get something else.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, try to,
Exactly.
release some more records or more albums
Yeah.
because I think you're going to get a following. But then again, it's like Axl Rose said in there during her memorial service, she was also busy protecting her dad.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
So I mean, how much of that actually took out of her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time someone said something or whatnot,
Yeah.
she's protecting his legacy too.
Yeah, she is.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
I mean, she probably looked at it like, well, this is a hobby.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to get myself fame
Yeah.
and fortune. I'm doing
Right.
this as a hobby.
Yeah.
I'm not, maybe Priscilla talked her into doing it. Because I mean, really, when you think about it, like, she should have been doing this in her 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would have been roughly our era of, the pop rock and rock and roll
Yeah.
for the 80s.
Yeah.
But then again,
Yeah.
I mean, this album might have happened obviously later in life, but I mean, still. But it was obviously telling that she wasn't ever planning on being a rock star.
No.
Right.
Or
and we know she was a hard worker. He talked about that. Jerry Schilling did talk about that at the wake, that she called him and said, we need to have a meeting and I want to kind of work for you.
Yeah.
Right.
She took us assistant. She didn't, I'm not a secretary, I'll be your assistant. But she was willing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that tells us a lot about who she was.
Yep.
Exactly.
That she, just because she was Elvis Presley's daughter, she was still going to earn her keep and going to do what she needed to do.
Yep.
Exactly.
And go in and ask Jerry, who tell Jerry that somebody else called wanting Lisa Marie.
Oh my gosh, right?
Not realizing they're actually talking to Lisa
Listen to
Marie.
her.
Jerry Schilling. That was it. I love when he would talk about how she would, call his name Jerry Schilling.
Yeah.
And the fact that Ben did it too.
Yeah.
He did mention that.
Yeah, Ben did it.
Ben followed that part of footstep. But I mean, you're right. I mean, obviously we weren't told which granddaughter wrote it.
No.
Yeah, we don't. But we know one of them did.
Right. We know one of them did. And
if not, both of them might have collaborated together.
That's also a possibility.
To get this, to have their grandma read it.
Well, I think one thing I think for, I'm sure it was also Priscilla, probably.
Yeah.
Her and Michael together were like, yeah, we're not going to let them go up on stage.
No.
To do this. I'll go up and read what they've written, and I'm not going to say who wrote it.
No.
Right.
Trying to protect the girls, keep them as best they can under wraps, away from the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it's one of those things where, like we mentioned earlier, like Nicole mentioned earlier, she's all sending me a message like, hey, did you catch that? I'm like, yeah, I caught it, but I didn't realize she had a
daughter. Yep.
Like, what?
No idea. No idea.
Didn't realize she was grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't either until.
But then again, I can say this much too. I didn't even know who all of Lisa Marie's kids were until right at the end, until she passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I knew she had. I think I knew. I knew that she had several kids. So, and because I knew about Riley, so I still might have it somewhere hidden away. The Vogue magazine of her, Priscilla, and Riley are all on the cover. It's beautiful cover of Vogue magazine, and so I knew about Riley, and I knew about the twins later, and then I knew. So yes, I did know about the others because I knew I'd heard about her son passing away, and I remember thinking, "Oh, that's awful,"
Right.
So that was one thing I did know about. It's just that the surprise of, she has a granddaughter. Like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until after her passing that I learned about Riley and of course the twins and her son. But again, it's one of those things where, all of a sudden you find out she's also a grandmother. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But if you have not listened, okay, first of all, I guess we didn't do this, so I guess we better do this.
Do.
Rating.
What?
Oh,
rating?
ratings.
Stars, or you want to do it out of stars? You want to do it out of
There's not enough
gold records?
There's not enough gold records or stars to rate this album. So.
And Kenny says she also
That's
learned a lot about her dad through his friends.
Right.
And made some
Right.
friends.
Right, because they continued on together. Right.
Right. Exactly. You know, and yeah. So Kim says there's not enough gold records.
No, I liked it that much. There's not enough gold records to even.
Well, obviously there is, because today's day and age is a little hard to sell gold records too.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness, I mean, it's because they don't count streaming for gold.
Yeah, I know.
Plus, it takes forever. Nicole.
I'm with Kim on this. I absolutely loved this album. I mean, not enough gold records. 5 stars out of 5? Okay, we'll go 5 stars.
All right, there you go. And I am definitely on board with 5 stars out of 5 stars. And I'm sorry, but again, I get different times and different things, but had this been promoted via like RCA Records or a Capitol Records, or I mean, I know she was on Capitol at one point, but had it been what I consider properly promoted, and again, that means making the circuit around all the Tonight shows,
exactly,
all the late night shows, all your different stuff, being on Howard Stern, you know, I mean, being everywhere is being exposed, but maybe she didn't want that.
Maybe
we don't know.
That's very true.
Want that? Maybe she only agreed to do American Idol. You know, maybe this was her again, because
not sure.
We don't know. I mean, she was only doing this as a hobby, anyways.
Yeah,
it was never as her career.
Yep.
You know, she had already made her name but she looked at it for her career.
Yeah,
it was a hobby to her.
Yeah, it was.
So, but this sucker should have sold millions of. It should have been platinum.
Yeah, it should have.
Double, 10 times. Matter of fact, it should be better than Garth Brooks.
What the hell? Maybe some of his albums, but not all of them.
But no, 5 out of 5 stars for me too. And again, like we've said, you've not heard this album. At pinned at the top, especially in the live chat right now, pinned at the top is the link to Spotify of this album. And again,
it is also on YouTube as well. And actually, you can also see it with the words, which is really nice.
Nice.
On YouTube, the full deluxe album. So definitely check out Storm and Grace.
Right, and I think most of the songs have lyrics on Apple.
Yes, they do. Most of the songs do have lyrics on Apple if you have Apple Music.
If not, and you're wanting the lyrics, you don't hear, or you want to know what all the lyrics are, and you don't come across lyrics, guess what? Google is your friend.
Google is your friend.
Because there's times where I've looked up lyrics for other stuff.
Yes, same here.
But no, it was a great album. I enjoyed this one. I'm happy Nicole brought this up to us.
I am too.
And what I'm really happy is that she's like, let's do one album. And she brought up Storm and Grace, and I'm happy she did.
I am too.
Because wow.
All I needed was one song, and I was like, oh, Scott! Like I was like, Scott, Kim! Like I'm like, Scott, ask Kim. Like, not 3, let's just do this one.
Yeah, right. And the thing is the hard part will be is now going back and because I do want to listen to her first 2 albums.
Yeah.
But they're different. They're different because the other 2 are more poppy, and while she's underneath Capitol Records, the big difference is that she got to work with T-Bone Burnett this time around.
Right.
And that was a huge difference. And I think that probably will make a difference when we listen to the other albums, because this is hitting us in a whole new place. Yeah. Even though she did do the lyrics on the other ones. Girl is just a writer. She was a good writer.
And that's one thing maybe we ought to think about doing another time is talking about producers. Because without a good producer, I mean, without Bob Rock, Dr. Feelgood, and Black Album don't do nothing. From Motley Crue or Metallica. Without Mutt Lange, Def Leppard don't have hits with High and Dry.
Yeah.
Pyromania or Hysteria.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, or even Mutt Lane. Let's continue forward. He doesn't make his wife,
Yeah.
now former wife, Shania Twain, a big country star.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm like, you want to know how I know him? I know him because of her.
Right,
The other way around. I know that might be sad, but it's true.
No, but I mean, the thing is no, it's true. I mean, without a good producer, you get a lackluster album.
You do.
Without a good producer and even a mix engineer who may decide on what the order of the album's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the bands make those, obviously, when they get older or get, where they made a few albums. Now the record company lets them choose the order.
Yeah.
But maybe in the beginning, it's a lot of, well, no, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of times, I mean, like with Metallica Black Album, when we talked about it, I don't have the DVD in front of me, but we did a year and a half of the live DVD, year and a half of DVD where they went over the whole recording process. When they went to go do the mixing, Lars and James were in there.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. This is the order we're going to do it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they had more control over that.
How they wanted the album set up.
Again, and sometimes that's what makes an album great too.
Yeah.
If it's in the right order.
Yep, that's true.
But
very
true.
Man, I love this album.
Oh, I do too.
Good.
I've got to find a vinyl copy.
Yes, exactly.
I was thinking the same thing.
All right, now I'm curious. Curiosity is killing this cat.
Well, while you're finding,
and just remember that he gets satisfied and then he comes back.
Yeah.
Yes, I know the whole rhyme.
Well, while you're doing that, do you want to go back on the comment that Ubaldo made?
Oh yeah, I mean, bring that back up. I did want to bring this, and we're back when we were talking about CD cases.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, I hope you got the correct CD case. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
That is true because I can't show them, but I mean, I've got books over here. I mean, obviously, when we got to that point,
same for DVDs and CDs.
And I've grabbed the wrong one, thinking, "Oh, I want this to listen to in the car," and it, and again, like when something's on the side of me, I went, boom, open it, and driving down the friggin' road, literally going like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Before modern cell phones took over.
Exactly.
That's why I laugh, when people are like, "Oh, people can't drive while on cell phone," and I'm thinking, man, you all should have seen us driving, trying to look for a friggin' CD
or a tape.
We were pretty bad.
Yeah, we were. Wait. Our cars would be going like this, and you're going, "Oh, I hope there's nobody that thinks we've been."
The one thing that kills me, or it doesn't kill me, but the one thing that I think shocked me when I started doing a lot of looking at quote unquote it is out on LP.
Is it?
Order 2.
Oh man, 90%. The cheapest one sold for $10. The most recent one sold January 17th, 2023 for $159.99.
Darn it.
Forget it. I'll wait for a re-release.
Yeah.
Wow.
Until then, Spotify.
Yeah, exactly.
Or CD.
Yep.
Play all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. CD only. The most expensive CD sold for $8.70, and that's the deluxe version.
Oh wow.
I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
Anyway. Ubaldo, order 3. Ubaldo, those are really expensive right now, so we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. Well, it's like looking up I bring this up all the time, but like Motley Crue's Leather Records version, which is their demo of Too Fast for Love, their very first album, before it was released on Elektra. They was only made roughly probably about 3,000 copies total on LP, And I've seen that thing anywhere from 10,000 down to $1,500, and I went,
Oh,
yeah, I would love to have it, but I'm never going to spend that kind of money on an album.
yeah.
I don't care if they are my favorite band.
Yeah.
Which also took me off when I first time went to Blue Bug, because he used to, so one of the markets, we have farmers markets.
Farmers market.
Or no,
swap meets.
Swap meet.
Yeah, swap meets.
He told me he sold a Too Fast for Love copy, leather records version for $150. I would have bought that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, 150.
Oh, yeah.
I could see spending on for that one, because it is harder to get.
Yeah, it is.
Lisa Marie right now, the only reason why they're going for so expensive is because she just passed away.
Exactly. Give it a few.
Exactly. That's all you gotta do is give it time.
Give it time, and they'll go back. It'll all go back down, and then we can get get the vinyl copies.
Look at Elvis.
Yeah.
The deluxe, the 2-disc deluxe version of Aloha on DVD.
Yes.
You search for eBay, you will find it anywhere from about $20 all the way up to $1,000.
Oh yeah.
For a DVD.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, we're going to really get into it when we get to his music.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you tune in and make sure you hit the subscribe button, because you want to be there for that one.
However,
and hit all.
I did pick up a copy of that for $37.
So my birthday's in July. I'm just teasing. I can get my own.
Yeah, Scarab Cause in July. Summer. Well, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully, Scarab Cause sometime this year.
We will know soon, I think. I think in the next month or so, we'll probably hopefully know better.
I hope so too. I mean, hopefully, like I said, like we've been saying, hopefully we can get there.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so too.
We really want to be there. I mean, there's a few places. I mean, for like Chicago itself, there's at least one place we both want to go.
Yes.
They want to come visit me.
Yes, that's
it right there.
Oh, so there's two. Got it.
There is two. There is two, because we've got to go to one field and one field only.
Where I remember when it had no lights,
right?
The trouble that they had putting the lights in and then finally putting the lights in.
So I'm meeting you at Wrigley Field. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Yes. 2 for 1. 2 for 1. Got it.
But yeah, no, that is like, for me, that's the one place. I mean, for Chicago alone, I've got to. I need to go to Wrigley.
Yeah,
I'm a Dodgers fan, but
get out of here.
Sorry. At least I'm not a Yankees fan.
Although I do like Pride of the Yankees, but that is for a whole nother day.
But
the movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's just be honest here.
For me, I will go to iconic stadiums, and the one iconic one for me, at least in baseball, is Wrigley.
Yes.
I would have said Yankee Stadium at one point, but they tore the sucker down. So
yeah,
screw you.
But yes, yeah, Wrigley Field, because I grew up in a family of Cub fans.
Yeah, right. You bottle. I agree. Sad how the price does go up when they are gone.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. And you say go blue.
Yeah.
Go blue. The Go Blues are a lot of stuff there, Ubaldo. I mean, there's Go Blue for Michigan Wolverines.
I think he was. I think he was referring to the Cubs.
Yes, the Cubbies. But yeah, no, I mean, seriously. And then we won't talk about her loser team.
We'll save that for another time.
Yes, we will.
That'll be a fun conversation.
Yes, it will. The thing is because I follow this other team doesn't mean I don't follow the Cubs too.
Yeah, well, the one thing is, Dodgers. Right on, brother. I see you got me on that one. Exactly.
So.
Go Dodgers. Speaking of which, that's on my personal Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. We got to talk sports one of these days.
Yeah, we do. We'll save it
for that is for a whole new episode.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So next week is up in the air. Once we stay tuned to all of our socials. Once I know, we will figure out something to do.
Yep. And then 2 weeks is Star Wars Podcast Day.
Yes. And of course, I was supposed to have a video ready for today, you know, do during our little, doing our little thrift,
Show and tell segment.
right? But because what happened was, I'm just going to point. I'm going to talk about it real quick.
Go ahead.
So yesterday, Kim and I were going through after listening. We were listening to Elvis or something. Oh, I was looking through something. Anyways, I come across Jeannie C. Riley
Yes.
because we do have the record Harper Valley PTA.
Harper Valley PTA. Oh man,
Right. So we played the song.
I love that song.
And I looked at Kim and said, "Well, you know they made a movie, right?" She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "They made a movie for this, really?"
I didn't know.
So I go on YouTube, find a little blip of it. I'm like, "You recognize who the mom is?" No. I'm like, "I Dream of Jeannie."
Well, I realized she was I Dream of Jeannie, but the one that I remember her in is the Jeannie outfit.
Right.
And
So it's got Barbara eating it. So of course, I'm like, of course you can't find it anywhere on YouTube, and I'm like, I wonder. So I look on Amazon. DVD $5.99. I went, hello. And it came in today. So
yeah.
Nice.
I mean, but it's one of those ones like I remembered it from the 80s. At some point, I remember it being on TV. And yo, DB.
Hello, DB. It's fine.
Hey,
It's all good, brother. It's all good, man.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Life can get crazy.
Bark, yep.
Bork. Oh, Bork. He'll hold. He doesn't know this yet. Bork.
Oh, here. Hold
Look
on.
what I got.
There we go.
DB, look what I got. He doesn't know yet. He missed the beginning.
Yeah.
I know DB will appreciate this. So. The only thing that's missing is the Swedish Chef, but if the Swedish Chef is right here in the fan chat, we're good. I think that covers it.
Exactly. He says, nice. John F. in Denver. That's who. Exactly, brother.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, Kim. There's something over there. Which one do you think? Which one should we? Let's do two.
Okay.
Let's tease
two?
Let's do two that we didn't do earlier. And then the rest, they have to wait for Patreon.
Okay.
Guess you'll have to wait.
Pull two.
Pull two of the.
Yep. Here we go. All right.
Okay.
Nicole, we're going to let Nicole entertain everybody for just a minute.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but I get to entertain you. How are you guys all doing tonight? Did you hit the subscribe button? Did you make sure to hit all on those notifications to ring that bell? You should, because there's some really great stuff coming up for used and abused. And you should make sure you're in on it, because I know at least for in 2 weeks, it's going to be Star Wars Podcast Day. And I hear that there are great things happening behind the scenes for that particular day. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of that. And of course, there's other great things that are coming next, because I will be back for the Elvis Presley series, because we're going to be doing music, we're going to be doing movies, and a whole lot more. And it looks like I'm entertaining a little bit longer never mind, just in time. So what you got for us all?
Well,
Because now I'm curious.
You're curious, huh?
I am very curious. I got to entertain, so now I'm curious.
That one down there. Hold that one down. Don't bring it up. All right, here you go.
On the big screen.
All right, hold it solo mode.
On the big screen. Is that Def Leppard? It is. It is Def Leppard. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Original high and dry. And I don't care what anybody says, but damn it, who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Another, this is what I got at Blue Bug. Another original, another used copy. Beautiful, looks great. And then the rest you got waiting for. Because the rest of them got some, there's a couple of 70s in there.
Yes, there is.
A couple of 70s, especially one that's going to be coming up eventually on Used and Abused.
Yes.
Which Nicole will be joining us on that one too.
Yes.
Mhm.
Talk about 70s artists.
Yes.
Because there is one that she threw at us and said, "Hey, we need to do an episode about this." And I went, "Yes, we do."
Yes.
I might
And-
have a thing for music.
I mean,
Couldn't tell.
like I said, this show started off as straight up music, and we got away from it and we went to the movies and whatnot. I mean, while movies are fun,
We need to go back to music.
right?
I think we're about to get I think there's probably a remix in the booth. Coming. I think.
Yeah. Same here.
Well, Scott,
Yeah. What do you think?
I know. I think we're waiting for you, Scott.
Till next week, everybody have a great weekend, a great week.
I'm ready.
Be kind to everybody, and I'm not. So here we go. Where's the button? Here? If you are in the northern hemisphere, the northern part of this country, please stay warm.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you guys are really dealing with some major nasty weather.
Yeah. And if you do have to drive, which there are some that do, please be careful.
Yes.
Please do below the speed limit. Please be careful.
Because
you have families that need you.
And just so you know, you are also part of this Youth and Abuse family, and everyone here in this chat on the screen, we're all family. And that's how me and Kim and even Nicole, I mean, we all see you as family.
Yes.
We see everybody, and that's why we love having Nicole on you. She's part of Road One Radio. We love
one's love, one's for, the other one.
But until next week, again, have a great week.
And a great weekend.
Be kind to everyone. And peace.
Peace.
Good night, guys.
Good night.